Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another FlyJSim live stream. Today it's the 1st of February 2020. We're coming in from East Midlands Airport. Boy, oh boy, this is an aeroplane that takes the men away from the boys. The 727-200 Freighter from FlyJSim, although other versions are available. An aircraft, again, which has been requested an awful lot on this channel. I've been flying it not that much. I only purchased it about 3 or 4 days ago, and I've done this first sector as a practice. It was pretty challenging, but I think we'll just be about okay. And then we're going to do a second sector, which I haven't practiced, from Leipzig to Salzburg. But yes, the stream should be about 3.5 hours or so. Quite a long one today. And yeah, this is a proper aeroplane, a proper add-on as well. A really nice FlyJSim. As we well know, make very good aircraft. We've had the 200 before, but now we're going to be in the 737-200. We're going to be in the 727 today. Yes, live weather. Time minus 10 hours. So right now in the simulator, it is 7 o'clock in the morning. I wanted to do a little bit at night time just to show you the lighting in the fly deck. It's really quite something quite special in this aircraft. And yeah, we're going to kind of wing it really. There is a checklist that comes with it. We're going to be kind of like roughly following that, plus doing what I think might be correct. But when I first flew this, I accidentally depressurized the aeroplane, but hopefully I won't do that today. So yeah, that's it. What else did I want to say? I hope you'll be doing well. It's been a couple of weeks since the last public stream, so sorry, apologies for the delay. We've been quite busy outside of the channel and outside of work at the moment on a personal level, but we've got a few things sorted and we have got time to do this stream today. Thank you very much, Thomas Pascoe, for the donation there, $5. Good luck today working through another stream. We'll check it out later on. Well, Thomas, I hope you enjoyed the other stream just as well as you will mine, and hopefully you will come back later. Thank you very much there for the donation. Right, so let's jump on into the flight deck in East Midlands, stand 101 by the DHL hub, which is quite fitting. In fact, the first sector we're doing, the East Midlands to Leipzig, is a frequent sector flown by DHL aircraft because they're two major hubs for the cargo operator. So I don't even know where to start. I think we'll go over here. We'll get some electrical power first. So the battery's up here. I've been trying to get myself familiarised here, but you can straight away see the lighting in this aircraft's really cool, the way it illuminates on the overhead panel too. Let's get the APU started, which is over up here. I think you hold it down. You see how it starts flickering. I think that's when it's ready. You can already see, look, temperature's already increasing at the back there for the APU. So we're going to use the APU for electrical power. We won't do anything else until that's been fired up. I can hear it booting up in the background already. That's an awesome sound. A classic FlyJSim, just what 737-200. All the weight and balances here. I've already loaded 7 of the cargo holds. You can see here. Oh, Dougal, thank you very much for the donation, Dougal. A very well known commenter on many live streams. Thanks again for the donation there. £5. Been so looking forward to this. Well, thank you very much, Dougal. And I'll get back to your Discord later. Saw your message, obviously. And thanks for your patience there. Cool. So we've loaded 7 of these cargo crates. It's about 15 tons. You can see how you can click each zone. You can see how, look, the aircraft pitches as we alter the weight. Aircraft are pre-fueled to 12.7 tons. You'll notice how the left, right and centre tank is equal. That's because there's 3 engines feeding from each tank equally, so you don't want to have use the fuel in the centre tank first, otherwise the centre engine might conk out. So you can see it's a little bit more on the wings, a little bit in the centre, but it equals the same amount that we need for this sector. So it should be the APU ready. We'll discuss the fuel and payload. Let's go back over here. We have to do the job of the engineer here, obviously, as well. And I think we now need to close the generator. There we are. Sounds like we're in business. Things whirring to life. So yeah, engineer. We're going to have to do the job of the engineer today. First officer and captain. On top of that, we're not going to use an FMC, we're not going to use SEVA navigation, we're going to do VOR the whole way, procedural approach the whole way. It's going to be really difficult, but I'll see what I can do. Right, watch this. This is really cool. I love this lighting here. Look, you can flick this on, look. That is so cool. Oh, got some merchandise purchase. Thank you very much, Robson, for the mug. About time I got one. Thank you very much for the mug there. Appreciate all the support again, and I hope you enjoyed many a brew there. But yeah, how cool is that? The little lights that you turn on here. I think it's awesome. There's one over here as well. I could never find the flipping switch, though, for anything in here. It's so complex. There it is. It just reminds me of those lights that you get in some creepy doctor's surgery or something. But it's really, really nice. I like that. Right, we'll turn up some other lighting as well, as it is dawn in the simulator. Let's turn up all these panel lights as well. Let's put the navigation light on and the compass light. Well, we'll turn this all up here. There we are. Right. So, sorry for the delay to this stream. The reason was there was an issue with Avitab. I needed to update it to ensure that we had the charts display. So let's just get on with a bit more of the setup first before we start discussing the rest of it. The weather here in East Midlands right now, Christ, it's pretty windy actually. It's 250 at 27, gusting 37 knots. There's a 37 knot wind here in East Midlands. In fact, I don't know if there's a windsock to find, but, well, certainly they're generating a lot of electricity. But it uses a bit of smoke around in Orbex. You can see how windy it is. But, yeah, the wind is certainly shifting. I don't know if you zoom into the clouds, if you can see them moving. No, you can't. But, yeah, it's incredibly windy. The wind's pretty much down the runway, but we'll have a slight crosswind to deal with for sure. So, yeah, that's definitely strong. QNH right now in East Midlands is 1002, so we'll get that set here. You have to do that on every single altimeter. There's the captains, here's the standby, and then the first officers we need to change over here too. So the QNH is set. You can already see, look, the true airspeed, look, I think this is moving because of the wind in the simulator. Look, 23, 22 knots, so it's gusting all over the place. It's going to be quite interesting on the departure, that's for sure. So that's all set. What should we, I mean, it's so confusing. I don't even know what to do next. Let's get the checklist here. Stall warning, we'll check that, and then we'll do the rest of the setup for the departure. So test. That's making a whirly sound. Emergency exit lights down here. That's armed. Passenger signs as required. Well, the fueling's done, so we'll pop that on. Well, there's the passenger seatbelt sign. I know it's up here somewhere. In fact, I think I'll put the dome light on. That doesn't make any difference. There's no smoking. We'll put that on for now. Where in the world is the passenger? There it is, right in front of me. Passenger seatbelt sign on. Window heat's on. That's up here. Radio radar transponder set. Well, we'll leave the transponder set to 2020 because it's this year. Not on VATSIM for obvious reasons. Parking brake set. AP we've started. That's fine. Beacon on. Well, it's the engine start checklist next. So what I just want to do here is, I think we need the fuel pumps on as well. It doesn't tell you to do this, but we'll put all the fuel pumps on. So I feel like I'm missing something. There we are. All the fuel pumps are on here. We're going to need this all set. We're going to cruise at 35,000 feet. The elevation in Leipzig is, what is it, 470 feet. So that is now set. I know this needs to go to flight at some point, otherwise the aircraft doesn't pressurise, which is the problem that I had during testing. Guys, as well, if I'm missing any questions in the chat, do be patient. I will have a bit of time after departure, but this is pretty busy here, and then I'll get back to you. I should have some people helping you out anyway. So 35,000 feet, that's a cabin altitude of 5,600. Should give us sufficient pressurisation. So that's all set. I think for the engine start, we'll leave the packs off at the moment. We're going to have the engine bleed open here, and these bleeds stay on as well. Cool. Ishri 0002, one of my members, thank you very much for the donation. £3 there. What runway are you looking at? Salzburg, RNAV 33 Yankee, gusty conditions is hardly my idea of fun. Glad you took up my suggestion from destinations request. Take care, Captain. I have so many destination requests, but I'm glad that's one that you picked up. I couldn't remember if you'd done it. It'll be straight in on the ILS 15 today, I should think, with the forecast weather there, but thank you very much for the donation. So that's, I think it's all set. We'll need the bleed open, and you turn these bleeds off when the engines are running, but we'll need that for the APU start. Right, now let's talk about where we are, the departure we're flying, and then we'll do everything there. Raw data, Daniel, so it's pretty much raw data anyway. Everything you're going to be flying. The flight directors and this are useless. Right, so let's have a look at the charts. Not charts, you have to select airports. So here we are in East Midlands on the cargo apron here, standard 101. We're going to do something pretty cool today. We're in a Tri-Jet where the engines are at the back here. We're going to reverse off the stand. Screw using better pushback. We're going to reverse. I think you can do this in Tri-Jets. I wouldn't do it this day because fuel's so expensive, but I think certainly in the 80s there's loads of videos of guys backing up out of here. So we're going to reverse thrust off there. We're going to point the aircraft here, Bravo, Alpha, all the way back here. We've got plenty of performance today, so I think we'll use Whiskey for departure, runway 27. And then we're going to fly Daventry 3 November today. We're 1 DME, so we need to get this all tuned. 10935. So we'll put 10935 up here. I hate these little flick over switches as well. After 1 DME, what we need to do is left turn track 225 until a 6.5 DME off the ILS, and then we're going to make a left turn track 160, and that is off the radial inbound Daventry, so 340 radial. So we're going to have to put 160 here in the courses. 160, and then we're going to put Daventry on standby. We're going to put it on the first officer's side as well. We got 160, 160. So this is just a massive, massive Seneca, really. That's what you got to treat this aircraft like. It's the same as the instrument rating, doesn't matter what the aircraft is. 161, 150, 159. Oh, that's a bug, surely. Okay, I'm going to go 161 because it doesn't let me set 160. And we'll put 16.4 on standby, both boxes there. Yeah, so that's the SID setup. All we need to do really is now put the flight level for the SID, which is stop climb flight level 90, and that's to be level 23 miles before Daventry. So we'll stick 90 here, and we'll level off at 90, give myself a breather, make sure we got everything correct. Right, so that's pretty much it. The rest of the routing then, from Daventry, I've essentially used VORs along the way. There's no real airways. All upper airways these days are RNAV based, and we're a non-RNAV equipped aircraft, so I've basically plotted using some en route VORs essentially the routing, and I'll show you what that looks like here. If we just go to charts, here's the first flight plan. I'll get something a little bit bigger for you so it's a bit easier for you guys to see. So yeah, here's firstly the first page. Look at this, look, fuel flow, 4.4 tons an hour. I know obviously a jumbo and an A380 is going to burn more, but in the 7.3 it's 2.4 tons an hour. It's nearly twice as much. It's incredible, really. So 10.4 tons. This is sort of fuel from the UK to the Canaries. This is insane, really. 1 hour 20 minutes. Our cruise speed, Mach decimal 8.2. This thing is awesome. It drops like a brick as well. We're going to go as fast as we can, by the way. Mach decimal 8.3, Mach decimal 8.4 if we can. Descend at 350 knots indicated, which is pretty cool. Massive tailwind, look, 296, 102 knots at top of climb, so we're going to be really shifting today. I've already loaded a bit of extra fuel. I put an extra 30 minutes on, mostly for any minor mistakes I make, so we've got 12.7, and our alternate is Berlin-Tegel. So yeah, just to show you the routing geographically, guys, here we are. Taking off, Daventry 3 November terminates here. I think the VORs we're using, just looking at the flight plan right in front of me, Lambourne, which is going to be just here, and then we're going to be routing direct to Niki, Warburg, and then inbound to Gotem, which is the arrival. So they're all VORs, so that's about it, really. Right, so I think we've discussed everything. I should think it's about time we get the engines started and get ourselves ready to go to Leipzig. So let's get the anti-collision light on. Air conditioning packs we never turned on. Transponder to go to... We don't have out off on these bangers. We'll go on out. I think that'll do. And I think all we have to do is... Excuse me, as I flick around here, is move this to the ground. I'll probably miss something out. Let's see what happens. Should hopefully get some N2 rotation. There we are, in business, I think. Fantastic. Let's have a listen to this. Excellent. I love this. This aircraft being so well made by FlyJSim. I don't think you have to wait to 20% N2. Let's stick some fuel in. Awesome. I hope that's starting. There seems to be some fumes coming out of the back of it anyway. Awesome. And that is the classic sound of a JT9 engine. Right, so wait until the oil pressure light's extinguished, and then we're going to go back to ground. My preparation for flying this aircraft was reading the provided tutorial, well, not tutorial, it's like documentation. I've not really followed any guidance anywhere. I am genuinely winging this today. Hopefully it'll work. Can't be too different to a 737-200. It's only got an extra engine bolted on. Right, let's get fuel in the centre engine. So there's the N2 increasing, exhaust gas temperatures, fuel flow slowly increases, I guess. There's your N1 rotation. I forgot to set this actually. The bugs for departure. Set bugs. And I think if you press this, it sets the trim. Yeah, otherwise the nose would have started coming up at 100 knots. There we are. Right, that pressure light, low pressure is extinguished, so we can now go to ground here. The last one, start the last engine. Awesome. Let's get the tilt up to 5 degrees. That's a typical tilt you want for departure to show you any weather that's above you. I won't put the weather radar on just yet. There's 20% N2. Let's stick some fuel in on engine number 1. Positive rate, £2 donation, thank you very much. When did the 737 get 3 engines? Someone glued one on. Thank you very much for the donation, positive rate. Yeah, we'll see how we go on, that's for sure. We're pretty light, I think, today. Performance of this aircraft is really, really good. Just flying around anyway. Thank you very much, positive rate. Zulu 1, hi there, FlyJSim. Hello to you. I've basically not answered any questions today. I've been busy setting this up. Thank you very much. Punk839, missed that sound. New engines sound like my Dyson vacuum cleaner. Brilliant. Right, so we'll get the guards closed on this. I'm trying to think what I do in the 737 now. So first thing would be the generators. Pop those on. So we want to close the buses. That looks good. I think we switch this to Gen 1 or Gen 2, otherwise you get some errorless messages. We'll shut down the APU. Right, APU's off. Probe heat can come on, which is here. On. What else do I need to do up here? I need to turn the bleeds. Right, bleeds are open. Put that on. Where's the engine bleeds? Are they definitely all on? PSI's up. Packs, where are the packs? There we go, packs are on. That looks good. Ooh, temperature of the mix. Duct overheat. This happened the other day, but I reset it, it seemed to work okay. There we are, temperature's cooling down. So I think we've got the packs on now. Temperature's there, PSI's dropped. Air's increasing, passenger cabin air's increasing. We'll keep an eye on it, make sure we're not cooking any of the alpacas in the back here. Right, generators APU off. There's no start switches. Flaps, 15 for departure, I think. Did I say 15? No, not 20. I have no idea what the kind of default flap setting is. I went for 15 because it doesn't have 5. Maybe we've got up to 5. Oh, it does have 5, sorry. Go for 15. I think 15 will do nicely. That's it. Conifoli, are we doing a power back? Absolutely. There's only one way to push back this aircraft, that's by doing that. Oh yeah, was that switch in flight as well? Yeah, that's important, do that. There we are. So the cap is definitely pressurising because the cabin altitude is decreasing. Right, so scream out in chat if I've missed out anything really obvious. Let's have a look at that checklist. So beacon on, galley power off, which I think that wants to come on now. That's the before start checklist anyway, which we've done. So anti-ice is required, P2 heat's on, flight instruments are set for departure, flight controls will check. We've got a little instrument here to do that as well, so full forward, full back, left, centre, right, and the rudders, left, centre, right, centre. Why isn't the upper rudder moving? Hydraulics. Let's try that again. That's why we do those checks. Hopefully the upper rudder moves. Ah, look at that. So System B controls the upper rudder. Hydraulics is all good. That's why we do checklists, guys. I would have taken off with partial controls. Oh god. Right, galley power's on. Electrical, no light, fuel heat not required. Hydraulic pressure and quantities normal. APU's off. Pressure altitude set for cruise. Flight ground switch to flight. Done that. Number 2 bleed was closed. Oh god, closed. Yeah. That's good. Right, I think we're good now. On, off. Packs are on. Cleared for takeoff. That's it. God, I hope we're ready. I hope we're ready. There's no lights on anyway. No lights on anywhere except the green ones. Right, I think it's about time that we get ourselves pushed back by doing a power pushback. Let's go outside, release the parking brake. Get the reversers on. And fire them up. That's cool. That's the only way to get off the stand. That's enough. Awesome. Surely I need some guidance for this. Crikey, I think I might have overdone this. So just get the main gear right up to the ground. I don't want to brake too hard, otherwise we're going to topple. Smashing on the brakes. That'll do, I think. Awesome stuff. Right, cancelling reverse. That's how we do it. Excellent. Uga came out. The centre engine doesn't have reverse, right? I think they do, because we have reverser operating, but the FlyJSim doesn't have the buckets. I think it's like an internal reverser on these engines. I'm not 100% sure, really. Right, anyway, let's taxi forward, get some lights on here. Taxi, turn off, and let's head on our way to Leipzig. Look, you see me turning the nose tiller. Look, it's one thing I've noticed with this FlyJSim. Look, why are my spoilers up? Look, you can turn the wheel just like that. It's very sensitive, but I have no idea why my spoilers have been deployed. Glad I spotted that. How do I make sure this is not armed? I know you have to. There we go. That's disarmed. Cool. Satish 8299, what's the weight with the cargo? It's 15 tons of cargo today. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the cargo crates, 14,860 kilos. Centre of gravity is pretty much in the centre. And you can see, look at the smoke coming from these chimneys, and the wind is really shifting here in East Midlands. Actually, I think I can show you here. I think it limits the wind on the iOS, but it's definitely not that in the simulator because I'm using Active Sky. It overrides the explained winds, but it's 100%. We saw the true airspeed jumping up and down anyway on stand. Saying at the moment 8. Obviously, once we get the aircraft pointing into wind, it'll shift up. 7 alpacas on board, exactly. Yes, for those of you who are new to the stream might be wondering, what in the world is everyone going on about with alpacas? By members of my channel, we have a private Discord for members, and we sort of started a virtual airline, and the theme goes, the first ever time they saw a picture of my ugly mug was with an alpaca, because my partner and I went alpaca walking, and ever since then we've had alpaca themed banter, and we've just recently started a virtual airline, which isn't official yet or anything, but it's called Alpaca Airways, and we did our first group flight last week, which is the last video on my stream if you're interested to see. It's about a dozen of us who flew from Rome to Innsbruck. It was pretty good fun, actually. I'm going to do another one of those in hopefully a couple of weeks' time or so. Cool. So you can see that the wind is really shifting. No idea what they're burning at this time of day. Over there for those chimneys to be puffing away. Right. So we're on the Alpha taxiway now. Taxi to holding point runway 27. We could do the sort of before takeoff checklist now. So configuration warning horn, I mean, I could do this. There's no warning horn sounds. I think it would sound if there was any issues with the configuration, so that's checked. Flaps are set for departure, 15. We have the green light. Stab trim set for departure as well. Takeoff briefing. We check the configuration with the engineer. Packs are in auto, bleeds are on. The V-speeds are set for departure. We can confirm on the bug card. V1131, which is bugged here. Rotate straight on. V2 is 143. We'll initially climb at this speed here at 150 knots. It should be quite excessive. I don't think we'll need full thrust today. Our departure then is the Daventry 3 November. So what we're going to be doing, guys, is waiting until this ticks over to 1 DME. As soon as that's at 1 DME, we're going to make that left turn to intercept the... thank you very much, Freckles Aviation, for the membership. Welcome to the channel as a member. And I hope you enjoy all the exclusive content. Welcome on board. So yeah, as I said, I'll get the chart up so it's easier just to show instead of just blurring it out. Yeah, I'm going to go climb straight at 1 DME. 1 DME you'll see on these two numbers here. Left turn 225. So what I'm going to do is bug 225 as a reminder. Usually have runway headings set. And then until we're at 6.5 DME, which you'll get either here or here, I will change the Daventry at some point. Once we get to 6.5, we'll continue that left turn, set the 340 radial, that's 160 inbound Daventry, stop in the climb flight level 90. And that's it. NADP, well, I think I'll be working so hard, and this aircraft is so noisy, screw the noise maybe procedure, I think I'll climb to around 3,000 feet before I accelerate, so that's reviewed. There's no passengers on board, so the alpacas in the cargo hold are secure, and they are. The checks are complete, ready for departure. We're very light today. I've added no thrust for a while, and we're steaming along here. There's no indication of ground speed because we've got no GPS on board. I think we'll go all the way to the hold point now. No idea if I'm heading off the taxiway here. I'll have to guess. Sweet. Yeah, you can see how I'm using the rudder to taxi. Don't use the tiller at these sort of speeds. The rudder's going to be a lot smoother. I better get on the centre line again. There we are. So I'm just refreshing the weather on my phone. 250 at 26, gusting 36 knots in East Midlands. It's proper windy here, but the wind is pretty much down the runway, so it shouldn't really be much of a crosswind here. It is a stonking wind today. Right, so here's Alpha 1, runway 27. Well, imagine we've got our takeoff clearance, so I just want to slow it right down here so I get the aircraft configured so these lights can come on. Strobes can come on. The weather radar will come on as well, just make sure we're heading in the right direction. Weather radar's here, so we'll put that system on. We just got the transponder upstairs on the overhead panel to set up as well. Right, everything's in the wrong place here. Transponders TARA. Right, so quite a long aircraft, so we probably need to overshoot the sense line here to line up nice and smoothly. That should do us quite nicely. It looks like we're pointing in the right direction. Right guys, so yeah, just remember the departure. We'll be climbing straight ahead, 1 DME, left turn heading 225, and then we'll make a further left turn at 6.5 DME onto the radial 160. The RMI is all set up, so all we've got to do is click nav lock, and it should follow the radial for us quite nicely. Right, DBFG 1981, is this Orbex scenery? Yes, this is Orbex. If you want to know what add-ons I have, it's all in the video description below, if you're interested. Right, buckle up guys, let's go. I've got to smoothly add the thrust so I don't damage these engines. Right, there's 50% N2, and we'll slowly increase. I'm gonna use N1. I know you're meant to be using EPA, and we'll set about 90%, which should be more than enough today. Right, thrust is set. Using the rudder already. That wind is very strong.
80 knots.
That's checked. Approaching V1, very light today. V1, rotate, up we go, nice and smooth. Don't want to scrape that tail, and we're airborne. Keep pitching up to around 150 knots. Go on, look at us accelerate. There's a positive rate of climb, gears coming up. The wind's already pushing me around. Whoa, it's a bit bumpy. Let's go. Fantastic. Right, we're going to wait until 1 DME now. Just climbing this direction around 150 knots, a little bit slow, so I'm going to keep the thrust, just lowering that nose. There we are, that's our target speed, so back up to around 18, 20 degrees, seems to be maintaining the speed quite nicely. So there's 1 DME, it is bumpy today. Make that left turn now to a heading of 225, and we'll need to wait till 6.5 DME. I'm going to keep climbing for a while. It is bumpy. So ignore that. That's us flying through the localizer for runway 27 because we've got the ILS tuned. Oh yeah, that's around 225. Still maintaining about 150 knots. Get that heading bug, see how we're doing. That's cheating, look, but you can see the idea, look. Now to wait till 6.5 DME, but what I'm going to do, whilst we're just downstairs here, is get the VOR active on box 1. There we are, we should get the ident, and then we'll be able to see when we get to 6.5 DME, it should coincide with us intercepting the radial here. So what I'm going to do now is lower the nose, get the aircraft accelerated to around 220 knots, and we'll retract the flaps. I think it's a good time to select flaps 5, 2, I think the upspeed's about 200 knots, kind of half guessing this, but you can see, look on the RMI, the radial's coming in quite nicely. Got it. Now select flaps up, trim those down, ignore all this. A little bit off the heading, So remember, 6.5 DME should coincide with us intercepting this radial. Ooh, need a bit of engine anti-ice, I fear. Oh my god. Right, I'm going to try and get the automation in now. Right, that's down here. Right, autopilot's in. On indicated airspeed hold. Heading select initially. I'm going to bug 250 knots. And I think we'll go navlock now. That means the aircraft will... Yeah, it should make a left turn, intercept that radial, inbound to Daventry. Let's get the engine anti-ice on for a bit as well. I saw some I saw some warning lights on over there. That can't be a good sign. Right, where is engine anti-ice? Is it this? I've no idea. Well, I'll put that on. We're on top out the cloud now. Right, after takeoff checklist, gear up and off. Auto brake. I forgot to set this. Look, that should have been an RTO. Leave it disarm. Doing 250 inbound on the radial. That's looking good. Engine anti-ice can come off. Well, I presume it came on. Why is there no lights on? Is it me? Maybe I should have that in cowl or something. I'm not sure. Right, what were those lights on the engineer's panel? Fuel boost pumps, low pressure. Is that because of my attitude? Perhaps. I have fuel in this number 2 tank and the aft pumps are working. I hope it's taking fuel from the centre tank. Let's have a look. Yeah, it definitely is. We'll keep an eye on that. Right, so we slightly overshot that radio. I think the FlyJSim's a little bit lethargic sometimes, staying on beacons and stuff. There's flight level 90. So we need to set 1013. But imagine we've been given further climb to our cruise level, flight level 3. Let's just make it easy, guys. Make 350. We'll get standard set 1013. Oh my days! I hope this sort of made sense of where we're going and what we're doing. And first of all, I think it's barely making sense to me. 1013. There we are. I think the after takeoff checklist is complete. Oh dear. Right, we should be a little bit right off the radial. Look, we're on around the 335 radial. We need to be back on the 340, so the aircraft continue that turn to get sorted. Truffle Susher, €2 donation. Thank you very much. Sorry if I completely mispronounced that. Thanks for wishing me luck. Passed all 14 exams in one go. Oh, I might have missed that earlier, but congratulations on passing your ATPL exams, and best of luck with the rest of your training, all I can say. Good job. Right, thrust is set. Let's accelerate now. I want to climb around 280 initially, and then we'll convert to Mach decimal 74 later on. Passing flight level 100, so we can do the pre-cruise checks. Lights, taxi, turn off and come off. Local's already off. APU is off. Pressurization. Let's make sure that's actually working. Right, yeah, diff pressure's increasing, which is a good sign. Cabin altitude slowly increasing. We'll keep checking that as we go up. So that is set. There's no recall here. Release the passengers. Or the alpacas, I should say. Where is this goddamn seatbelt sign? I could never find it. There we go. No smoking off. You can light up. Feel free to stand in the cabin. There we are. I think we're okay. Right, what's going to happen next then? Well, we're about to Daventry. So you see the DME's decreasing here on number 1. We need to wait until we're overhead. 16.4. So we've still got a while to run. 23 miles. Happy days. As soon as we're overhead Daventry, we need to think about what happens next. So we're going to fly right overhead the beacon. Showing you the flight plan here. What do I want? Charts. Let's go to page 1. You can see after Daventry, we want to go direct to Lambourne, and that track is. Have I got the right? Hold on, I don't know if I've updated my Avitat flight plan with yesterday's. Now I printed off a brand new one earlier. I just want to make sure I've got the right flight plan. No, that's the right one. So you can see here our initial magnetic track after Daventry is Lambourne. So after that, we're currently heading 158, 160. That's fine. So we're going to go after Daventry 124 to Lambourne. 124 to Lambourne. So we'll close that for now. You can see the wind. Look. I mean, look at the heading we're having to fly to track this radial here. The wind's coming in quite strongly from the west at the moment. Right, so we get Lambourne on standby. It was 15.6. Hold on, I've just realised something. 16.4. Just make sure we get back onto Vorlock here. I think I might have been tracking the wrong radio there. Right, that's nav lock engaged. There we are. So definitely I might have been going incorrectly into the wrong place. But there we go, 16.4. We had it active that side. And we're going to put Lamborn, which was 15.6 next. Make it active on box 2 so we can see on the first officer side at least what should happen. And I'll set the course to 124. And you'll see when we're directly overhead Daventry, we should be able to fly inbound 124. So you'll see, look, that's slowly coming in. As soon as we're directly overhead Daventry, we should be on the radial. We can switch over to box 1 to ensure that we're navigating in the right direction. I hope this, again, all makes sense. This is all instrument flying. I'm kind of talking to you guys as if to say, you know what I'm talking about. So I will get a chance in the cruise to answer any questions if you might have about instrument flying. I'm just doing it, or kind of guessing it. I haven't flown like this for 10 years. It's sort of half working. Cool. So 7 miles to run. Remember, this is a slant range, so it won't count to 0 because it'll take into account your height above the VOR beacon. So it's around every 6,000 feet 1 mile. We're about 3 miles, so this will get to around 3 miles, and then you'll see the needle's already starting to drop. Look, this side. So we're going to go to heading select just for this. I think that's down here. There we are. On a heading, and you'll see the needle slowly swing round. It should coincide with us intercepting the Lamborn VOR 124 inbound to Lamborn. Tate Dugan, no direct entry here. Yeah, if they said direct entry to an RNAV point, we'd have to say unable. That's for sure. Right, so you can see, look, VOR 2 still just about inbound. There's the RMI going off. There we go, there's the needle swing, poof, right overhead the VOR. I should have done it a little bit earlier, but let's now head on to 124. In fact, I'll go this way because we're going to fly over a little bit where we need to go. And that should coincide with us being bang on the radial there. So that's what it is. It's all about matching the needles, make sure we have navigation one way. And now we're flying away from Daventry in this case. Tom Knudsen, have a nice flight. Too bad about the pixelated views when zooming and switching. Sorry to hear that, Tom. Yeah, the bit rate's as high as I can go with my internet speed. Usually post-stream it's better, but yeah, I did see some people complaining. Sorry that you're having that issue. It seems to be up and down my internet most times, so hopefully we'll be all okay. Right, let's get everything active this side now, so 15.6. I want Nikki next. No, sorry, what's after Lamborn? Next VOR is going to be Nikki 17.4. Lamborn 124 on the course. There we are, pretty much bang on. We can go back to Navlock. Oops. There we go, Navlock's engaging. Give yourself some flight directors if you want as well. There you are. And we're now flying inbound to Lamborn. The taxiway, this is interesting actually. 767 pilots are also qualified to fly the 757 because they're built in unison. Yes, it's a common type rating. So if you're rated on one, I think you're rated on the other. So we're going to continue climbing at 270 knots. Well, you can see it because we're maintaining an indicated airspeed. Our Mach number increases as we climb, and this cruises at high speed. You know, Mach display 8284, like the Jumbo really. So it does shift. Although the climb rate at the moment is pretty poor. So a little bit of thrust there. D3P3K is blurry sometimes. Yeah, when I'm panning, I think it has to load all the pixels in, so it can cause slight issues. My internet here, it's fibre optic, but it's my upload speed's around 8 megaseconds. It's not super fast, but hopefully I'm going to get some new internet. So I'm moving house in the next few months, and it does have super fast fibre optic broadband there, like 500 meg download. So it'll all be very exciting. We should have a decent ground speed now. No way of telling us what our ground speed is because I've got no GPS. Or I need to know what the wind is basically up here. But it's around an 80 knot tailwind. I know that from checking the forecast conditions. Vinkling and DBFG 1981. What X-Vision preset are you using? It's one made by one of the members, by Richard Salzburg. I'm sure he won't mind me sending a link to that and posting it, but I'll do that for the next stream. So I'll just get up to the cruise level now. Thank you very much, Demon Traitor, for the donation there. £5, appreciate that. Very much appreciate your enthusiasm and knowledge. Well, thank you very much, Demon Traitor. Thank you. Indeed, yes. Pretty much love doing this. It's really, really cool. I'm just going to turn the volume down here slightly. Yeah, I tried to share some knowledge as it is, but this is just raw data, beacon flying. You know, stitch some beacons together. Hopefully, we'll get on our way. But yeah, we're inbound to Lambourne now. 15.6. After Lambourne, we should be flying inbound to Nikki. That's over, I think, just south of Holland. 17.4, which we've got on standby. So I'll keep you posted as we go along of where we're tracking. For some reason, Navigraph won't let you view in Streamlabs their app, which would be quite cool. So I'll show you the airways we're flying. We're not flying on airways, but certainly the en route navigation stuff. Show you here. Obviously, Avitab's got quite a useful map. There you go, right overhead Luton Airport. Look, there we are. Yeah, but Lambourne's just to the north of London, and we're going to be going east over the English Channel, obviously. So yeah, that is it. Demon Traitor should try the FlyJSim aircraft with the SIVA. I have it for the 737-200. Never used it. I guess it's a little bit easier because you can just plot in the waypoints and just. Well, I don't know what it's called, LNAV or something, but there's something that will track it, I guess. Oh, I didn't realise FlyJSim is actually here. Thank you very much for making such an excellent product. Am I right in thinking your sale's still on? I picked up this aircraft in the sale this week. But yeah, I 100% recommend any of the FlyJSim series aircraft. Certainly the second one I own, but the 737-200, brilliant. I've only done this sector once before as practice, and it was well. I don't know how the 727 flies, but it's matching all the figures anyway, all the needles, so it's really cool. And we're cruising up quite nicely, coming up to Mach decimal 7.4. So I'm going to go to Mach hold shortly as we climb, and then we'll accelerate up to our Mach decimal 8.0 or something. We'll make sure we make good progress. Keep the map up at the background. Right, only 13 miles to go until Lambourne as well, so let's get everything ready for the next VOR, which is Nikki. Daventry Lambourne, and you can see our track is going to be 099 inbound Nikki. So again, we'll set that up on the first officer side first. 099, and then the Nikki VOR, stand by, whoever that was. Firstly, thank you. I'll get right back to you. 17.4. 17.4. So we'll just make that active here, actually. Make sure that makes sense. Maybe a little bit far out at the moment. That's fine. We can track outbound on the radial nonetheless. Oh, it's Carl coming with an insane donation again. Thank you very much, Carl. I think with the exchange rate there should be 35 quid. Thank you, Carl. K9 Ernie wanted to say hi to Jack and hopes his mouth is feeling better. Well, thank you very much, Carl, for the donation. Yes, Jack is doing okay. He's fully recovered now from his operation, as I've been telling you in Discord. Jack, if you don't know, guys, is my Labrador. My partner and I have a 5-year-old Labrador, and he had an operation last week to have a tooth removed, and he was very groggy, bless him. Afterwards, he was moaning the whole time, but he's fully recovered. Annoyingly, he keeps licking the wound where the IV line, or he went under general anaesthetic, or some line went into him. They cut all his hair there. But yeah, he's fully better, Cole. Thank you. Right. Anyway, look, you can see I was a little bit behind there. We just flown directly overhead the Lambourne VOR. Let's get on that heading of 099. Again, we slightly overshot, so I'll undershoot that heading. And we're going to fly outbound on the 099 radial. So if we set this here, we can track outbound on the Lambourne radial until we pick up Nikki. Actually, you can see, look, the DME is counting down now on box 2. So I should think we've just about picked it up. A little bit far out for the radial here. It doesn't matter, we'll fly outbound on the Lambourne for a while. We'll go on this heading, re-intercept the 099 outbound, and then we'll go from there. Right, anyway, I should get back onto Mach hold. Look, I've been distracted, and I want to do about Mach decimal 7.4. Look at this, I'll bug back about decimal 7.4, 7.5 here. Look at the rate of climb will increase now, so it needs to pitch for the speed. I'll go flight directed to heading. There you go, you can see, look, the radial's going back in, so we can fix that, or adjust the heading slightly, and then we'll go back to navlock. Farble media, that's a very, very good use of the emojis there, exactly. And let's go back to navlock. Oh, keep flicking it to aux nav. There we go, Vorlock's engaged. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this as well. Yeah, you have to arm the altitude, otherwise it'll go straight through. That's a bit annoying. Cool. 2 tons of love, I've got the FlyJSim decal now. Where to place it? Maybe on the enclosure at my local zoo. Alpaca themed emojis. For maybe 2 tons of love. They probably won't know what you're doing. Paul Emerson, glad I was able to catch the stream. I fly this sometimes, and with the oil spill response delivery, real life call sign's broadsword based at Doncaster near where I live. Yes, Paul, the call sign I used was based off 2XL Airways, and I know they have an old 727. I actually looked on YouTube at that aircraft, absolutely smashed it down wherever it was landing on in an air show or something. You can actually hear the aircraft go thump. But yeah, they still operate that aircraft. Right, there we are. So just make sure we've got Lambourne outbound. Just make sure we've got the correct frequency here for Nikki, 17.4. You should be identing all of these, by the way, prior to using them. You don't just fly outbound on a beacon, because you need to know it's the right one, because you could mispronounce it. You could be then all of a sudden tracking to an incorrect beacon, which obviously if you're IMC near mountainous terrain could be a massive issue. So yeah, if you're on your instrument rating, don't just tune up, make sure you ident it. Obviously in the 7.3 it's easy, because on the PFD you get the ident appear on the display. FlyJSim, you found the merch shop. I'm sure you have some good merchandise for sale. I should get myself a FlyJSim mug. Awesome stuff. I feel like I should be doing more engineering roles, but I really don't know. Fuel, let's make sure we've got all the correct amount of fuel in all the tanks. So about £7,200, 7,200, all looking good. So we know we're feeding fuel from all 3 engines equally. There's your electrical panel. Everything's all at the correct temperature. Battery's charging, that's a good sign. Let's make sure we're not cooking anyone in the back. I've not fiddled with any of this. This is on the 700, they have these archaic switches. But the temperature in the forward cabin is 22, aft cabin is 25, maybe a little bit warm, but that's acceptable. I don't want to start pressing buttons, that's for sure. Pressurisation is fine, cabin altitude's approaching what we want, 5,600, diffs below the caution. It's fine here, as long as it doesn't go up to the max diff pressure, you're absolutely grand. All looking good then, regards to the engineer. And we're slowly getting up to 350, our final cruise level. Yeah, no VOR from Nikki at the moment. We're only getting DME 120, 120. Pretty sure it's the correct one. Alex, glad to catch this stream. Leipzig is my home airport. Awesome. Yeah, we've never flown to Leipzig before. I only chose it because it's a major hub for DHL. Cool. I remember to close number 2 bleed and APU. I'm really happy about that. I probably would have blown something up, no doubt, if I'd forgotten. I just flicked through the provided manual, which was quite detailed, but again, I've not really looked at anything. I don't need the flight directors. So there's no auto throttle on this aircraft. So when we level off, you have to manage the thrust if there. So I'm going to keep the thrust up to around whatever we've had it since takeoff here, about 95. I should bring that back slightly. Let's go to about 92, and we're going to accelerate when we get up to our cruise level to about Mach decimal 80. Should be shifting some there. Remerson Race, hello Captain. Like Brazil, good morning for you from Brazil. Thank you very much. Harish, are there any RNAV equipped 727s out there that are ETOPS certified? No doubt, but I don't think there's many 727s around. I think if there are, they're only flying cargo. You know, it's an old aircraft. Engines are old. It's noisy. You'd struggle to fly this into a lot of European airports due to noise issues, for sure. Cloud Walker, needle of the cabin vertical speed goes up when you looked away. I think that's quite normal, as the pressurization system's constantly moving the outflow valve to get the cabin altitude where it is, so that's quite normal. You'll see it go up and down. Completely automated. Or the engineer automated. Right, there we are, 350, reached our cruise level. No order frontal, so we'll just bug decimal 80 as a reference, let the aircraft accelerate, and then we'll set our cruise thrust. There we are, so we're now in range of the VOR for Nikki, so we can switch over to that now. So we're going to match the heading up here. Go heading select initially. We'll bring up 17.4 on box 1. I know I could just use the transfer switch, but I just like the active frequency being on the left because that's how it is on the NG. Right, 17.4 on all 4, look. That's coming in quite nicely. Let's just imagine ATC said Alpaca 01 route direct to the Nikki VOR, so what we'll do is just line up the VOR like that. Down here, nav log. Happy days. We are absolutely shifting as well with this. I really want to know what my ground speed is. I don't think there's any way of telling unless I get the wind. I know what the true airspeed is, but where are we? Look, we're already well east of London. We're making very good progress. Indeed. Perfect stuff. 350. He's slowly accelerating. What's really cool as well, I noticed in the stream you get this whopping great big total air temperature gauge here, and a whopping great big static air temperature. So you'll notice, look, static air temperature, that's the kind of still air outside, not surrounded by the aircraft. It's currently about minus 55 degrees Celsius. You'll notice that the actual total air temperature is a lot warmer. It's minus 25. That is due to something called ram rise. The fact that we're going so fast, it's actually the friction is increasing the temperature. We'll try and remember to do it when we go to Salzburg on the second sector. When you accelerate from 250 knots to around 300 knots, you'll see the total air temperature increasing really quickly. That's because of the friction as you accelerate. It's really quite cool. Fowsat, you can see your ground speed if you click M. Oh, I don't want to do anything like that because I know if you mess around with this, you can see things change. Look, we're directly overhead of an aircraft carrier. That'll be quite cool. I think we'll just do an external view. Watch your ears if you're wearing headphones. Oh, there it is. Pretty cool. Yeah, have a look at the external model though. It's really, really nice. Rotation around. It's a really nice, classic looking aircraft. 60s design. It's US registered. Making excellent progress to Leipzig. 3 contrails as well. Superb. Or mega, I should say. Right, there we are, approaching Mach decimal 80. So what I'm going to do is slowly reduce the thrust to keep that needle still. It's the only way I can think of doing it. Take a little bit off, too much off there. There's no auto throttle, you just got to make sure you keep an eye on your speed there. So I'm taking a little bit off. And what's our N1? About 88%. We'll keep an eye on that. Add a little bit more. Don't mind going a little bit faster. Obviously, the faster we go, the more drag. A little bit too much thrust added there. Let's do about 90-ish%. That should keep us going at a nice high speed. Wipeout, can you please clean the windscreen? You can with FlyJSim, but I've got the kind of dirty mode on here. I think, where is it under the settings? Where is it? It's probably, there you go, cockpit windows, dirty or clean. I quite like the dirty ones. I'll keep them clean for now. If you want them dirty, you can keep shouting in the chat. Volbrick, thank you very much for the donation there. 45 Danish kroner, I think that is. Love the 7.2 stream. So much new to learn. Isn't it odd flying a yoke plane with joystick? Have you ever considered getting a honeycomb joystick? Well, I have considered getting the control column, but I have literally no issue with this joystick. I think half the time, because I'm following real world procedures, means I engage the autopilot. When I'm hand flying, kind of like the inputs I make on the joystick are the same as the control column, so it's not that different to me, really. I'm quite happy with it. I don't see the point of investing on the control column, which on my tiny desk, I have no space on here. It's going to be too much clutter, so I just use my little Logitech. But yeah, it's a lot nicer. It looks like dirty's the way to go. Oh wow, I didn't know that white pot. Yeah, let's go for dirty, because it is a dirty old aircraft, this one. Where is it? Right, it's staying right at me. I know it is. There we are. It's not your monitor this time. I love the little words there from FlyJSim. That's cool. That's been saved. Ugo, you did some research. It does have reverses in all three engines. The centre engine cascades on the left and right instead of top and bottom. The first and third engine does. So there you go, Ugo. Thanks for looking that up. There's no buckets on this one, so I guess all three engines on this aircraft have that feature. Cool. Someone asked what's the next VO after Nikki. I will show you. You wouldn't be using the flight plan to navigate either, but you'd be using charts. But after Nikki, we're going to go to Warburg, 13.7. 13.7, which we'll bring up on the FO's side first. So a little bit far off for Warburg. There's no DME distance. And as I showed you in the 737-200 stream, what we need to do prior to actually using this as a navigation aid is to ident it. So I don't know if you know your Morse code, November India Kilo. It's currently on box 1, so if you flip this to nav 1, I guess that's Nikki. I'm just going to look up November India Kilo. I've got Morse code right in front of me, my sheet. It should be dash dot 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 dash dot dash. There you go. So it's correctly identifying. We know we're tracking inbound to the correct VOR, so you have to do that with each frequency. I remember doing that on my instrument rating, you having to do that, ident, trying to talk to ATC at the same time, very busy. Will 123185, hi. Been loving the streams, love the Airbus flight. Yeah, that was crazy. Was that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now? That was crazy. I love flying that aeroplane because it's so intrinsically different to the Boeing, but then away there's so many things that are the same. But it's always a challenge flying this. I'd say I find the Airbus slightly easier than this though. On the approach, this you'll see, I will guarantee forget something. The workload is insane because you're having to dial up frequencies and radials, do checks, make sure you're not falling out the sky. It's really busy. Pravin Jagtap, you don't need to post the same question 4-5 times. If you keep that up, you'll probably get yourself kicked out by one of the whatever you call them, supervisors. So yeah, how much time before landing? If you look upstairs on top of the Abbey tab, you'll see right there, there's the ETA. We're going to be actually flying over the airfield and then back round again. So I'd add 10 minutes to that. I can't actually see it on my screen. This is 1843 Zulu. I'd add 15 minutes to that, so it's going to be around 1900 Zulu, so 7 o'clock local time. I'd say around an hour from now. Moderator, that's the word. Supervisor, sorry guys. Good. And it's nice to actually see that Nightbot appeared. He seems to be really late to my streams these days. I think he's having an affair with someone. Right, speed's good. Mach decimal 8.2, that's fine. We'll keep the speed nice and high. Burn some Jet A1. Sweet stuff. So we've got 26 miles to run until Nikki. We are shifting. Like, we are really travelling some distance here. There's no elapsed timer on this aircraft, but we're seriously covering some ground here. Thank you very much, newbie. Czech Republic, CZE, has donated £5. Thank you very much. Fun stream as always. Well, thank you very much, newbie. Glad you're enjoying the stream. And if you haven't done so already, guys, really appreciate the thumbs up on the video. Gets it out to as many people as possible. Had a nice spike of subscribers in the last month. I think the Airbus stream was very popular and stuff. But yeah, make sure you give the thumbs up. Get it out to as many people as possible. Glad you're really enjoying the video, guys. If you're not enjoying the video, you know where the back door is. Joking, guys. Bravin Jagtab, what is your speed right now? We're currently doing an indicated airspeed of around 270 knots. That's about Mach decimal 82 up here at 35,000 feet. If you look at our true airspeed, 471 knots. I reckon we've got a 100 knot tailwind here, so I reckon we're doing around 570, just shy of 600 knots ground speed. We're really shifting here. Harris, you're quite right. Answering HMS Daring 1s, do you need to learn Morse code? No, not for civilian operations. And exactly as you said, they are printed on all the charts. It's there available for you. Cool. So we'll get ready to fly over the beacon again. So we're going to go back to heading select. Remember, up here 35,000 feet. That's going to be a range about 4 or 5 miles, and then we're directly overhead the beacon. Let's go heading select, and we'll wait for the needle to swing, and then we've got 13.7 was the next frequency for Warburg, which we've already got the DME for. Well, actually, you know what? We'll fly outbound for a short while, because we're really far away. Wow, 190, big range on the Warburg VOR. So this is why it's important to check the ident, because you've got to make sure you're routing towards the correct one. So you'll see the needle will start dropping in a second. This is the needle here on the right. And the next track from Nikki, from afterwards Warburg, is going to be 080, the initial magnetic track. So what I'm going to do is dial in 080 here. Turn onto it now, and you'll notice the needle will swing as we fly over Nikki VOR. It does like to bank quite a lot in heading select. There we go, there's a needle drop directly over Nikki. I want to get the tail of this onto 080. They're already bang on it, so cutting the corner slightly worked out quite nicely. To the heading, and then as soon as we're kind of a bit more established, we'll engage forelock. Just fine tune that heading, that should do quite nicely. And back to nav lock, so we're now flying outbound from Nikki on the 080 radial inbound to Warburg. And if you can see here, look, we're already here. 083, so you see the difference here, 080 and 083, that's because we're flying this kind of magnetic track. Oh, what's the word? Oh, I've completely forgotten the word. It's the road, you know, the Earth's world is curved, believe it or not flat, as many people would believe. But obviously, you don't fly straight line, you fly a great circle track, that's the word I'm looking for. So you'll notice there's a difference of 3 degrees. I think that's 3 degrees, but anyway. I'm going to have to brush all on my ATPL theory, that's for sure. Great circle on cat, you got it, thank you. I forgot the word. Got you. Your brain gets so fried when you're streaming because you're trying to do everything and work things out at the same time. Will, thank you very much for the £1 donation. Keep up the great work, he says. Thank you very much, Will. I'm glad you enjoyed the content and appreciate the quid there. Thank you very much. Farhan Mohammed, what is your dream plane to fly in real life apart from the 737? You know what, if there's one of these fly around, I'd love to have a go on this. I'd love to fly a classic jet. I really like how these aircraft fly, or hand fly, certainly a desktop simulator, so anyway. But the 7.3 is like really efficient. You'll see when you descend here, if you want to get down quickly, you can just bug 350 knot speed brake. You do about 10,000 feet per minute. It's no issue with descent management in this aircraft at all. It's a big draggy brick, but it works out quite nicely. Why Lunsell is here. Rumline. You just say navigational quotes. For those of you who don't know, new to the stream, YR Lansell's one of my moderators. He's actually a 737 captain as well. Very good friend of mine. I've known him for, how long has it been, Mr. Lansell? 10 years? We used to live together in our first base, and he still talks to me occasionally. If you're doing well. So you've got 2 737 captains, myself and Mr. Lansell at the stream today. I often have another friend of mine who pops in who's the 787 first officer, help answer any questions. Bartos, when you do some flights with my favourite plane, the NG, can you please go into Gdansk in Poland? We've flown from Gdansk about over a year ago. we did a stream to get out, but I'll bear that in mind in the future. Many requests. You wish 8 years, I think. Yeah, about 8 years, isn't it? He always takes the mick because he became a captain before me. That's because I became an instructor for 3 years, or 2.5 years. Cool. Anyway, as I said, we're flying inbound to Warburg. After Warburg, we're going to route direct to Gotem, and then we need to start thinking about the descent. I've calculated pre-stream we need to initiate our descent around, I think it's 50 miles before Gotem. I'll show you how I calculated that before. It's just basically the 3 times table. 3 times your height from Gotem is around how many track miles I need to get to the runway at the correct height. So what I'm going to do is dial in, let's make sure we've got 13.7 active. So I'm just going to go back to heading select first. Let's dial in 13.7, make sure nav 1. I think with FlyJSim aircraft, the autopilot only is synced to box 1 and nav 1, so it's only one autopilot, so you have to tune here what you want to fly and stuff. So get inbound to Warburg, 13.7. Go back now to Navlock. Navlock's engaged. There we are. Just got another donation as well. Thank you very much to KPS. Wow, crikey, very generous. KPS, 25 quid. Very kind. Thank you very much. And you've donated several times as well. Thank you. 7278. Very nice airplane. Almost as nice as the 707. Something for the future, maybe. Loving the stream. Well, KPS, thank you very much. We love to jump into the classic aircraft on these streams. I don't know if there's a decent 707 for X-Plane 11, but certainly FlyJSim, I think, leads the class with regards to the classic aircraft. Certainly the one you want to go to, so I can 100% recommend the 72. But yeah, if a 707 pops up, we'll definitely jump in there, KPS. Thank you very much for your generosity there. Cool, so there's Warburg, and what I want to dial now in the box is Gotem, which is the beginning of the arrival into Leipzig. So that's 15:25. We'll make that active.
30, 20,
And we'll just put it here as a reminder. We should get the DME a little bit too far away yet, but we've got it active on box 2, so as soon as it comes live we should get the DME distance here. And when we're 50 miles from Gotem, when this is 50, we'll initiate our descent. Christian Farr coming in with £4.56. Thank you very much for the donation. That's very much appreciated. Tim Skipper, please do a Concorde stream. Well, if it took me some time to get my head around this, reading the manuals, and God knows what it'll be like with Concorde. I've looked at it, Tim. I know there is one. I just need a little bit more feedback. I don't know how realistic that Collimata Concorde is, but it's coming. It will come this year, I promise you that. And if it doesn't, nudge me and tell you you promised, and then we'll do it. Pascal, maybe Airbus A300 would be an idea. There's someone making an Airbus A300 and X-Plane 11, isn't there? Yeah, that'll be nice. It's actually a little bit more Boeing-y than a newer Airbus, I think. Tim, it's nutty to fly, but a very, very cool version. Alright, we'll have a look. There we are. Bound from Warburg. Not long to go, chaps. We've made cracking progress. 0.82 we're cruising at. Nice and fast. Burning a nice streaky hole in the ozone layer in this aircraft. Actually, what is the fuel flow right now? God. It's about 2,500 pounds, so 7,500 pounds an hour. That's a plenty. Oh, FlyJSim, controversial question. The 732 or the 727? Which one are your products? I think it's the 72. I don't know. I think it's just, if you can fly this, it's quite rewarding. You know, if you can get this from A to B, it's quite a rewarding experience for anyone who uses it. 732 they're both brilliant, right? It's hard to put it, but I think about this aircraft. I mean, 72 is the ultimate Tri-Jet, I think, and it's very rewarding to fly. The 732 is just as rewarding, but navigating like this, no matter what your experience, is always very rewarding. Longcat Greta's going to meet you on the ground to shout at you. No comment. George S, have you ever flown to Cyprus? I haven't actually. I've never been to Cyprus. My operator. Casca, there's a 747-200. Now that would be cool to fly. I don't think there's a decent 747-400 for X-Plane. Obviously PMDG make the excellent products, but obviously not an X-Plane. Maybe on Microsoft FlightSim 2020, and I know they're involved with producing an aircraft there, so I'll definitely try that out. You know what, it was either going to be the 727 this stream or the Tupolev 154, the Felis 1 Florian. And I will do a stream in the Tupolev, that's for sure. FlightSim World Germany, what's the hardest approach you've flown? In real life, Lanzarote runway 21, that's pretty challenging, because you have to fly quite a narrow valley. Can't use VNAV because it'll put you into a mountain. I've done a few circling approaches. They're not sort of challenging, we have quite a set way of flying that, but they can always be quite interesting. I'm not going to tell you, oh no, I wasn't going to say where we flew into with the circle, because it would give away my operator, but we've done it a few times. Have you flown into Madeira? Jesus was a hovercraft. No, I haven't. What a name. Farron, when are you planning to your next flight to Dubai? At some point. We've flown into Dubai before. We did Bahrain, Dubai a while back. Max Hearn, have we flown into 707? Negative. Kusa flying into a mountain is only a minor setback. I wouldn't recommend it for your career. There we go. Well, believe it or not, chaps, I have not flown an aircraft since November. Was it now? January, February, coming to it's nearly been 3 months. I'm really missing it. As some of you well know, I have a new seasonal contract with work, so I essentially take the winter off, and that was in return for a transfer back to my home base. It worked out quite well for me, but I'm getting a little bored, if I'm honest. I'm very busy because my partner and I are moving a house in a few months' time, so that's been keeping us occupied, and we've been seeing a lot of family and stuff. It's really been quite lucky, really, to take this time off and stuff. But I am yearning to go back to work, which should be hopefully the end of this month. Well, my sim duties, I've got to do some sims to get back into line flying, line check, so I won't be looking forward to all that, but it needs to be done. Yes, Max, you're correct. I have to, before I go flying, I'll need to do a recurrency sim to get back up to scratch. I'll then have to do a training simulator session, then a check. So 3 simulator sessions, and then a line check as well. So when I go back on the line, it will have to be line checked by a line training captain who will sit on the jump seat. I have to do 2 sectors. One is pilot flying, pilot monitoring. So it's essentially 4 days of someone assessing my ability. I'll probably try and do everything on my own, because that's the deal with X-Plane 11. We'll see. Right, there's DME2. That's the DME associated with GOTEM, which is the arrival into Leipzig. When this gets to 50, we're going to initiate our descent. So around 100 miles from top of descent, I think it's a good time to start setting it up. There isn't really that much to set up because there's no FMC, but we can certainly have a discuss of things. So what we're going to do, we'll ditch these Midlands charts, get up Leipzig, which is Echo Delta Delta Papa. There we are. And the arrival we're flying, all of these arrivals are RNAV based, so I couldn't technically do it. However, right at the bottom here, you've got some conventional VOR arrivals here, but I'll tell you straight away, they are... Whoever designed this, I want to give them a massive slap, because you've got to use several frequencies. Secondly, the ILS into Leipzig has no DME, so what you have to do, you have to tune the ILS, there's no DME associated with ILS, and then you have to have on a second frequency the DME off a VOR and use that as your distance. Why they couldn't glue an ILS or DME to this ILS, I have no idea, but sometimes you get ILSs which don't have DME co-located. Costs, I have no idea. It really, really makes this approach 5 times more difficult. When I first practiced this, I was all over the shop. I really had to really take my time because I don't have that second person to navigate and do things. But I'll try my best to explain how it works, and we'll go from there. I mean, you can... so disjointed, it's annoying. Damn you, man, who designed this approach. But it doesn't need it, because in reality, to be fair, I bet there's an aircraft that hasn't flown this approach conventionally for years. You can have 2 things that happen. One, you'll have an RNAV approach, or star. Secondly, you're going to get a radar vectored approach, but we're not doing any of that today. We're going to try and fly this procedural approach. So what are we going to do? Well, we're flying inbound to GOTEM, right now, I'll just double check, make sure we're on 1525. We're not, we're still outbound from the other radial. So what I'm going to do, let's make sure we're going inbound to GOTEM first. Just make ourselves, makes life a little bit easier for ourselves. So let's just do that again. Heading select. GOTEM is 1525. That should come in now. There comes the needle swing. Inbound 091 then to GOTEM, so on the 271 radial. Go back to Navlock. Navlock's engaged. There we are. So now inbound to GOTEM on box 1 and 2, which is fine. As soon as we pass GOTEM, outbound 077, going to go inbound to the Leipzig VOR. From Leipzig, we're going to aim to be at around 10,000 feet at Leipzig. We're going to fly outbound 102 radial to a 14 DME. Okay, we're then going to make a left turn, so I'm going to have to twiddle that course round all the way in the opposite direction to the inbound here, which is going to be 266. So it's 180 plus 86 is 266, and they're going to fly inbound to the Leipzig VOR. Now this is where it gets really tricky, because the Leipzig VOR, though we're inbound to it, isn't part of the approach. We're going to have to then tune the ILS up to intercept the localizer, and then on box 2, the DME is associated, if you look down here, off 2 VORs. You can use one of 2 essentially. Now I've got my work charts in front of me. The main DME distance of this chart is based off the Lima Delta VOR, so we're going to have to tune Lima Delta on box 2 and use the DME distance associated with that, and you can see, look, it's essentially just to the middle of the runway here. And I think these altitude distance cross checks, you can see, look, they're based off Lima Delta, so you're going to have the VOR on box 2 and the ILS on box 1. Now, technically speaking, if you were doing this on a 737NG, you should do this as well. You should have ILS on box 1, the VOR on box 2, and you split the frequencies, essentially. So the captain would have the glide slope and the localizer following it here, or the pilot flying with. The first officer would have no localizer indication. He'd just have the DME distance associated with the VOR to do some altitude distance cross-checks, essentially, if you're doing a non-precision approach. So yeah, it's pretty tricky. I've got to do, essentially, all of these frequencies tuned up myself whilst flying this aircraft, whilst chatting to you guys, whilst making sure we're not falling out of the sky, because I forgot to add thrust as we level off. So yeah, it's really, really insane how this works. But yeah, I'm going to have to try and do it on my own. I've done it once, it didn't work. Fingers crossed, second time lucky, but they usually say third time lucky, don't they? So we'll see how it works. Outbound 14 DME is a sort of like an offset, well, a procedural turn, really. Inbound to Leipzig, at some point we'll intercept the localizer at Jogger. Jogger, you can still see, look, it's 21 miles away, so we'll only intercept the localizer at 20 miles, so we want to be at around 5,000-6,000 feet at that point. I'm not really going to be worrying about CDA, guys. I'm going to try and get myself level at 5,000 feet nice and early, and then go from there. ILS approach then, runway 26 left. The reason I chose this runway is it's no preferential system here, but DHL have a huge hub here, so we're going to vacate here. I might try and make Sierra 5 if we can, just taxi on the stands. Offload the cargo, upload the next cargo, and then we'll make our way to Salzburg. So yeah, there we go. Yannick, sorry, Mr. Lansell, I love your plan. I did it once, it didn't work, so let's just do it live on YouTube. That's it. That's the way. A lot of the things I do, Mr. Lansell, I do off the cuff, straight away. When I did the Airbus stream, I didn't practice that sector. I did practice the approach, but not the whole flight, and that kind of went a bit funny. Yeah, let's see how it gets on. It can only go one way, it's surely badly. So yes, how did I work out when to start our descent? So we're at 35,000 feet. 3 times rule. 35 times 3 is 105 miles. Okay, so we want to be starting out descent about 105 miles. All I did was roughly add this up. So Jogger, about 20 miles to go. This is about 10 miles. So let's call that 30. Around here is going to be another 14 miles. Let's call that 45. 45 plus 30. It's just rough about 75 miles. 75 plus 50. 125 times 3, 250. It's about 325, 330. It's very rough. Very, very rough. The beauty of the 727 is, if you need to go down, you can just whack the speed brake out and it just drops out the sky. I found in my test flight I did. It's really effective. So if you see we're getting a bit high, no problem at all. Just whack the speed brake out. this can descend at 350, 380 knots indicated airspeed, no problem. It's got so much parasitic drag, it wouldn't be an issue. So yeah, that's how I roughly worked it out. When I first did it, it ended up a little bit high, but we'll see how we get on today. Cool. Max, direct parallel or offset approach. Well, they're usually associated with hold entries there, but you don't really have that sort of approach option. Thank you very much for Seabrooks joining as a member. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy the exclusive members-only content, which is all revolved around Discord. Just a quick one to throw out there. If you're struggling to join the members-only Discord there, it's completely automated. There's no invites generated manually, so you should get an automated invite. Make sure you use your Discord and YouTube, sync it up, and you should get an invite on the web browser version of that. So yeah, if you have any issues typing Google YouTube Discord membership synchronization, and that should step through the guidance, but make sure you do that on a desktop simulator or on a web browser. But yeah, thank you very much, Seabrooks, and welcome. Daniel Smith, you cheeky beggar. So which accident investigation report will I apply to this flight? We'll see how we get on. Cool. Yeah, look at that, look, cruising nicely now. Mach decimal 8, 384. That is quick. You'd be overspeeding in the 7.3 at this speed. I mean, look at this. MMO is up there at Mach decimal 90. I mean, you could go really fast at this if you wanted to. Sweet. So, about 50 miles to top of descent. Yeah, sorry, minimums. Again, if you're watching FlyJSim, I don't know if it's something I'm doing, but you see category C, standard minimum 670. I tried to set this, it's like an arrow here, but I can't wind in 670. So I'm unofficially just typing in 200 on the rad out. You shouldn't be using a height for this, you should be using the altitude, but you don't know if there's any terrain, for example, that might misinform where this is, so you shouldn't use radio altimeter unless you're doing an auto land, but we'll use it. It works nicely for 670 there, but it's not quite working. Well, I can't set 670 on this. I don't know if I can't scroll because I zoom, I can't flick it left or right, but I have no idea. We know it's 670 on the altimeter. Right, actually, we better just check the weather in Leipzig. I hope it's not like it was in East Midlands, that's for sure. Right, Leipzig, it's showing on my phone 240 at 10 knots, so that's fine. Wind straight down the runway, 10k, few clouds, 10 degrees, QNH10 003, so it seems to be working fine. FlyJSim back in time, that looks like a bug. No doubt you'll fix that, but yeah, I can't set my minimums, my decision altitude on the PFD, I don't think I'm on the first officers. Yeah, not working that side. I've just got like an arrow left and right there. Otherwise, brilliant aeroplane. I mean, I love it. I love flying it, really rewarding. I think everything's ticking along nicely, tickety-boo. I hope during the turnaround I don't miss it. I've not done a turnaround in it, so I hope I don't miss anything. It can't be too hard. Missed the passport. Got my first job as an airline pilot yesterday, so excited to kick off my career soon. Congratulations. I hope that's in Europe as well, because it's a bit stagnant in Europe at the moment, but best of luck to you. Congratulations, well done. Lawrence Peel, last time I saw a 772 was working in, was that Kabul, you said? Yeah, I don't think there's too many in Europe now. Like I said, there was 2XL Airways have an oil response one. I guess there's a few shipping around in the Middle East still and other parts of the world. Really cool. Mars Heil, wondering if anyone has any suggestions like Virtual Ryanair. Are there any alternatives for American-based virtual airlines out there which are similar to Virtual Ryanair? Really want to give flying in the States a go. Mars, I'm not the man to ask, but no doubt in the chat someone will answer your question. There's several virtual airlines out there. Cool, so here we are, approaching top of descent shortly. Very good, Mr. Passport. Oh, good for you, buddy. Congratulations. The Alexandine, other than the 737, what other type rating would you like? I mean, I'm not too really bothered. I quite like working at my operator, and I'm quite happy flying the 737. If I'm honest, you know, I'd love to tick the box to say I've flown something else, or a wide body, or something, but that's too much of a career change, and I'm very happy with my life outside of work to not have a change of career like that. So yeah, I'm quite happy to fly the 737 as long as possible. George S, as I was just saying a few minutes ago, why didn't I get my Discord invite? It does take a while to refresh. Just type in Google, YouTube, Discord synchronization on your web browser, and it should give you the guidance. The invites, it automatically generates. I think it's every few minutes or so, but you will get in, don't worry. If you do have issues, drop me a message on Facebook. And another thing as well, I must say to anyone that's perhaps messaged me on Facebook pages, I've really had to cut down on the amount of messages, because my first priority is anyone that's a member first through Discord. I've got a lot of messages in the last 2 weeks. I think at the moment I've got 50 or 60 unread messages. It's a huge volume, and I cannot simply give a personalised response to everyone these days. I have Instagram. Instagram, I get countless messages. Facebook, I get emails. I probably get 2 or 3 emails a day, usually quite long emails asking questions. I have not got the time now to answer them, or maybe a year ago, 2 years, but yeah, I guess that's down to the success of the channel. It's growing quite quick, which I'm really happy for. But yeah, I do endeavour to get back to anyone that's asking probably an easier question, or one that's not one that's 1,000. I had someone email me the other day. It was literally, I think I counted the word count. It was 1,500 words, and it was a lovely email. I did write back briefly to give a brief description, but I can't answer those every day, guys. So apologies for that. Tanamun, how do you set camera presets? I hate having to move the camera and arrow keys. Tanamun, default X-Plane 11 has a brilliant way of setting camera views and configuring them. So on my number pad on my keyboard, I can assign views. So for example, if I press 1, captain seat, 2 is the autopilot down here, 3 is the FMC, which we don't have one fitted, but have it set the same as the Zebo mod, 4 up overhead, etc. And to set that, you need to press Control on your keyboard, then the number, and then it assigns it. It's really, really good. 7, I have look at a wing view. Oh, it's very quiet back here. And then a right wing view. And then 0 for Avitan. Yeah, I just use those essentially. Thank you, Halex, for giving the correct terminology for what to do. Right, there we go, 60 miles, so 10 miles before top of descent. I think what we're going to do is, there's no terrain here. I'm just going to wind in 5,000 feet, guys, and descend. Keep it nice and easy today. Really, we'll use the step down altitudes to make sure we don't go below anything we shouldn't, but this will be much easier. It's not impossible to get a clearance straight down to your altitude. I remember flying to an airport, it was very quiet. Flight level 380, call sign, cleared direct to a 10-mile final, descend 3,000 feet on the QNH, and we were at flight level 380, so you can't get clearances like this. Right, there we are, 54, 53. I'm going to bug the speed up a little bit, because I want to descend at around 0.85 initially. I'm going to select down here, bring the speed back on the thrust levers, IS hold, out arm, and we should now start descending. There we are, 50 miles. And we'll slowly bring the thrust to idle. There we are. Oh, I did this earlier. If you go idle, you get like the gear warning horn. Now, how on earth do I shut that out? I can't go quite idle, that's going to drive me insane. Let's go about there. I don't know why I can't go idle, but anyway, no problem. Right, what we're going to do is go Mach hold initially. Let's maintain about Mach decimal 7.8 in the descent. And when that transitions to indicator, we're going to go down around 350 knots as well. On the mid-pedestal. Oh, sorry guys. I can't remember what button I have for the pedestal. There we are. Oh. Oh! Brilliant. Brilliant. There we are. Fixed the issue. We'll go idle then. Thanks, guys. All the 727 experts. I love it. Like, you guys know, because you've probably flown hundreds of hours of this, know all the little cons which I don't have a clue about. Sweet. Right, so, inbound to GOTEM. After GOTEM, we're going to go to Leipzig, 1585. So I'm going to put that on the FO side. And DME's coming up. Look, there we are, 72 miles to go. So we picked that up already. And we'll keep going down. Micro Rizu, your stream videos are always so easy to understand and very informative, enjoyable as well. Keep up the great network, I'd love to become a member, but unfortunately the option isn't available in my region. Well, Micro, that's very kind. Please don't feel like you have to have a membership. You know, the members do get a little bit more exclusive content, but my streams will always be public, or most of them will. I do the members group flights now, the monthly flights, just to give something back to those guys who can contribute, but please don't feel free to feel like you have to donate to a member. It's a free channel. You know, that's the whole point of it, is to improve your sim experience, but I'm glad you're enjoying it, Micro. Sandeep Singe, what kind of approach today? We're doing a procedural ILS. Too much to do a non-precision. This is going to be difficult anyway. Right, so yeah, inbound GoTem. I hope we've done this all correctly anyway. We might be flying into a different airport for all I know. Cool. So maintaining Mach at the moment, so our indicated airspeed is increasing. Jada Music, where are you flying into now? We're flying into Leipzig in Germany. Most welcome, Micro, thank you. Serix, don't know if this was asked already, but what do you think of the new 777X? Looks pretty cool. I did see the video of the test flight. Obviously, not having the same issues in the backs, but yeah, I think that's the future, isn't it? Twin-engine wide-body jets. You won't see many 4-engine jets be developed, I think, in the foreseeable future. Look at this thing. We're dropping out of the sky. Indicated, we'll get to around 350, then we'll switch over to indicated airspeed, and then bring the speed back to 250 at 10,000 feet. Actually, I need to set the QNH, which I forgot to do. Leipzig 1003. There we are. I'll switch to indicated airspeed now. IS hold. There's bug 350 just because I can, and I can't in a 7.3. That's going to drop the nose. Let's do a little flyby. Not making any noise. That's because we're idle. I should think it'll be a little bit louder than that. Cool, so approaching the point where we're about to fly over Gotham. Let's get rid of that because we'll be cheating. Then we definitely know we're going the right direction, but that isn't a feature you get in real life. 1525. Just going to go to heading select now, just as we approach the beacon. There we are. And as soon as that needle swings, we'll fly outbound, so we can use these charts now. Don't need the flight plan anymore. 077. 077, so we can get the CDI matched up now. .350 knots descent. So our true airspeed will be decreasing as well. Where is it? Can't find it now. There we are. 459, 458. 457, that's normal because we're maintaining a fixed indicated airspeed. Pop the seatbelt sign on. You can extinguish your cigarettes if you're in the back as a stowaway. So here we are, about to fly directly overhead, so we'll get on our heading now. You'll see the needle drop very shortly. There you go, that makes sense. 077, there goes the needle swing. Boom, right overhead. GoTem. Now we're going to dial in Leipzig 1585, just to make it easier. Here comes the needle. RMI's alive. And then we want 077, don't we? Back to Navlock. Happy days. So, that's good. 1585 we got tuned. What we're going to put on standby this side is the ILS frequency, which is 110.3, and the DME associated with the ILS which we have to use the VOR. Sorry, it's no associated, so which is 11215, which I have on the chart right in front of me. So I shouldn't have to change any frequencies over at the moment. And we should be going over the airport soon, actually, because look, before Leipzig we fly directly over the airport. Where are we turning to? Can't see anything out here at the moment. Oh, look, there we are. That is Leipzig. Sweet. I hope it is anyway. Could be Heathrow or ways like that. No, too wide. Yeah, I think that's Leipzig. We're in business. Good. Fighters with Demo has asked, what temperature do you turn on wing anti-ice and engine anti-ice? Hold on, I'll get you a tutorial. I've done. And that will answer your question. Share this. Copy. This, if you're interested, guys, is a tutorial I made quite early on in the channel. Shows you how wing and engine anti-ice is used. Right, approaching 10,000 feet. Let's bring the speed back to 250 knots now. I mean, it's sort of like level change on the 737 at the moment. The aircraft's pitching for a speed. We just disconnect everything, wing over and land, can't we? That'd be the easiest way. Easy way of doing it. Oh, I can't believe I've made it this far. This scenery, by the way, I always like to promote any scenery I purchase. JustSim, I think it was. JustSim. It's in the video description below, anyway. Farin Mohammed, face cam please. I'm afraid you will never get to see my beautiful face. Some people actually think I don't have a face. A bit early with the speed back, but that's fine. 13 miles to run until Leipzig. And the aim is to get to 5,000 feet just as we approach inbound to Leipzig. Again, I'm not bothered about continued descent today. I just want to get down to 5,000, nice and easy. Go from there. So the aircraft's levelled off then, as because we're trying to bring the speed back to 250, and then it will initiate descent from there. Mr. Lancel, when is the FlyJSim Thermos mug coming so I can promote you at work? Right, you don't. I can remember when you found out for the first time. Classified, would you fly a 727 in real life? I'd love to have a go. Love to have a go, that's for sure. Oh, I picked up the middle marker. Must be directly overhead. Picked up the middle marker, look, for 2.6 left. There we are. Looking good in its ortho. I like how this scenery developer merges really nicely with Ortho 4XP. I found that Orbex doesn't quite match the colours. They use different matches for their own products in the UK. Same with the Courchevel scenery as well. Right, there we are. It's 250. I'm going to be busting any airspeeds. I'm going to do the post-cruise checks now, so don't forget. It's going to get busy now. Lights. I'll put all the forward-facing lights on. APU is off. Pressurisation is set. Seatbelts on. There's no recall. Our checks are all complete. And we're about to fly overhead Leipzig. I'm going to just show you the aeroplane icon. We should be about there. There we are. So we go back to heading select. And we're just going to cut that corner. We want to go outbound on the 102. So let's dial in 102. And you'll see again the needle drop very shortly. Happy days. There's 10,000 feet, 250 knots. Probably cut the corner a little bit too early there. Should wait, should really go over the beacon. And now we need to wait till we are 14 DME out. Probably bring the speed back to around 220. We're very low on this approach. We're quite low. Ooh, here comes the... I'm going to overfly that slightly. Let's get back. I've overshot that radial because we're so close to the VOR still. They're only 3 miles out, so I've overshot the radial 102. Just go back onto that heading. There we are. I'm just going to put nav lock in for now, but I will go heading once that's all stabilised. There we are. So the automation's again tracking the radial. I brought the speed back to around 220. And We're still around, you know, how many miles to run? I reckon around 25. We're very low. So I'm just going to keep it going down, level thrust. It does have a vertical speed pitch mode, but I really don't like it because you've got no auto throttle, so you've got no direct control of your thrust. You have to watch the speed all the time. The beauty of this mode is it's like level change, IS hold. You don't have to worry about the speed. The aircraft's going to pitch your speed. Speed's obviously quite important at all times because that's associated with stalls. Because well, you can stall at any speed, but at 1G, your stall speed is a fixed speed, so you know what it is. In level change, it's fixed. You know what's going to be doing. Thank you very much, Michael, for the donation there. €11, very generous. The 727 is such a sexy aircraft, he says. It is very good looking. Michael, thank you very much for the donation and highlighting your love for this iconic aircraft. Appreciate that, thank you. Cool, so we're making good progress. 9 DME, so we're waiting till 14. We're going to be about here, guys, so again, just to highlight that. There you are.
20, 10.
And we're making excellent progress. Thank you very much, guys, to the other members helping other members join the Discord as well. That is a bit tricky sometimes. Thank you very much. Ian Wolkowski's just joined as a member. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy all the exclusive members-only content, and I'm glad you are enjoying what you see. I appreciate that. Thank you. Right, heading selects. We now need to wind this course around the other way. Inbound is 266. So, quickly wind this in. Thank you again, Ian. 266. We're waiting for 14 DME. You can still track outbound on the tail of this radial. Coming up to 14 DME. There we are. We want to fly, well, it's basically self-position, so I'll give myself a bit of an intercept. Let's go for around 330. I think that'll work out nicely. Approaching 5,000 feet, so I'll need to remember to add thrust, otherwise we will fall out of the sky. George Cat's outside view, give me 2 seconds, let me just get intercepted, and then I'll allow you to do that, because this is stab out of trim. Ooh, I hope not. That's not a good sign if you get that. I think it's different on the 7.2, I hope it is. So, sort of self-positioning here, we just want to intercept the 086 radial inbound to Leipzig, or Leg. So we'll do something like this. You can see what radial you're on by looking at the head of this needle. Should come in quite nicely. That's our altitude alert 5,000, so we must remember to add thrust, otherwise we will crash and die. So we'll start feeding in some thrust now, and you can see, look, there we are, that turn's worked out nicely. Radial's coming in. Just going to go again Vorlock briefly as I get the other things set up so I don't have to worry about the navigation. So Vorlock's engaged. We're now flying inbound on this radial look here towards Leipzig, so we're going inbound now. Now this is where it gets a little bit busy. I need to now go on box 2 onto 112.15. That is because we need the DME distance associated with this VOR, Lima Lima Delta. Ooh, look, we're cheating again, shouldn't have that there. And I think I can get the ILS tune now as well, because we're going to fly past the localizer. So what I'm going to do again is just go heading select down here, heading select. Oh no, that's autopilot disengage. I don't want that just yet. Heading select. Oh my goodness me. Oh, how do I know it's going to maintain altitude now? Oh my god, look, my speed's getting low. I told you, this is hard. I need the ILS active first. Let's get that on. Ah, oh, where is it? Auto glide slope. No, I need the ILS. There we go. Auto glide slope. Localizer glide slope. There we are. Right. Autopilot. Why is that green? Hold on, guys. I just want to make sure we're going in the right direction here. Hold on. I've really screwed something up here. Where are we going? 110.3 is active. Oh, because I've not. Hold on. I know what I've done. I've not lined up the course correctly. So I'm literally going manual now. I'm hand flying up to 5,000. I need to line this course up with the runway QDM, which is 263. Maintain 5,000. Just shot past the localizer. This is not easy, guys. I told you. I'm hand flying, trying to get myself back established on the approach. For some reason, the ILS didn't pick up the ILS. Come on. Let's get back up to 5,000. Speeds up to 250. Look how hard this is. Hold on. It's fighting me. I don't... Hold on. I didn't have the autopilot. I thought it was being a bit lethargic. There we are. Now I'm actually flying it. Let me get back up to 5,000. Sort myself out. 250 knots. This is what happened on the practice one. I tuned up the ILS and it just didn't pick it up. It picked up something. I engaged ILS, but it was following something else. Let's get to 5,000. Bring the speed back. Trim. I think we've got the correct ident here. We're still 18 miles away, so we don't need to worry about anything else. I'm not picking up the glide slope though. Thank you very much for the donation. Let me just get myself trimmed out back up to 5,000. This is messy. This is messy. Oh, I miss my 737, that's for sure. Right, what is this ILS frequency? 110.3. It wasn't active, look. Oh. Right, there we are. Now I've got some guidance. That's why. So I had the VOR still tuned, not the ILS. And that's why it's so difficult to fly this for real. I'm going to fly it manually now. Bring the speed back. Localizer's coming in. Whoa. Why is it so bumpy? Right, there's 5,000. I swear I'd switched it over. I have no idea what I did there. Right, localizer's coming in. I'm on the glide slope now as well. Might just get the automation in for a second. Engaged. Auto glide slope. Localizer's captured. God for that. Glide slope's going to be captured any second, I hope. Well, there is the glide slope. Why are you not descending on the glide slope? Glide slope's armed. It's not going down, look. Glide slope autopilot's armed, but it's not descending. It's just maintaining 5,000. Right, let me just try something else. 3,000. IS hold. We're going to go down a level change. Why is it now bugging 300 knots? Let's bug about 220. Oh my goodness me. Auto approach. Localizer's armed. It's not capturing the glide slope. Look, glide slope is armed. I think I might have missed something there. So we're now established on the localizer, at least. That's important. And auto glide slope. I'm doing exactly what I'd expected to, but it's just not biting on the glide slope. Flight director should be on auto approach if you want to get on the glide slope. It's on auto approach, isn't it? Approach auto. I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to have to nail it. Let's go flap 1, 10 miles. This isn't going as well as I wanted it to, if I'm perfectly honest. Oh, I have no idea why it's not capturing the glide slope. But auto glide slope, manual glide slope. I have no idea. No, glide slope, look, glide slope captured. I think we're on it. I think we're on it. I flicked something down there. Glide slope captured. I've got some flaps out. 15. Let's bring the speed back now. Oh my goodness, what a mess. I think we're here though. I think we're here. Oh, that was embarrassing. So when I practiced it, my issue was actually getting onto the localizer, but I nailed the glide slope. I don't know what I did differently. Well, I know what I did wrong. I didn't flick this over to ILS 110.3. But yeah, it kept me busy, that's for sure. Right, I think we're good now. On the glide slope. On the localizer. Speed's good. Aircraft configuration is good. I don't know at what point I select gear. I think we've gone for flat. Something after 15. I'm setting the thrust in. I want to do about 160 knots now. Someone wanted an outside view. You can see why I didn't want to do it straight away. There we go. Oh, that was embarrassing. Hey, I've got a second approach to do at least into Salzburg. Hopefully I'll redeem myself. That was absolute mess. I wouldn't want to do that on my instrument rating. Michael, thank you very much for the donation, €2.29. I'm just checking who else might have donated who I might have missed. Some of these are my Streamlabs isn't opening now. Tom, thank you very much for 20 Norwegian kroner. These movements do not help my hangover. I'm sorry to hear that. But we're here anyway in one piece. Oh my good giddy aunt. This is not an easy aircraft to fly. I hate this nav panel. I hate this. Why do I have to go over here for the active frequency? I want this to be the active frequency. Right, there's 6 miles. I think this would be a good point to configure. Gear down. I'm going to go straight to our target approach speed, which is around 135. Let speed come back out. I'll select our landing flap, which is 30. We'll do a landing checklist. There's no start switches. There's no recall. Speed brake. I'll use that all day. How do I arm this? Arm green light. Oh, speed, 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 speed. Oh, they do not spool up quickly. Speed brake's armed. There's no green light to check that. Landing gear. Down 3 green. Order brake. Set the order brake. Let's put that to medium. Landing flaps then. We wanted flap 30. That's selected. Checklist complete. This is... Oh, my goodness. The only thing that could redeem myself is a smooth landing. I can't believe how messy that is. What is going on with that trimmer? Come on. A bit low on the glide slope, so the automation's correcting. I'll can this. I'm going to have to fly this manually. Right. I think it's just trimming all over the shop. Right. Autopilot disconnected. I'm just going to zoom in like that so I can clearly see my instruments. There, shut that trim up. Oh my goodness me, I can't believe it. Well, I got this from here to here, that's a good sign. A bit wobbly on the approach, but we're here. I can't believe that. So angry with myself. Right, getting a tad high, so pitching down, 3 whites, so around 1,000 feet per minute to recapture the glide. Speed's a tad low, so I'm just going to have a bit of thrust. Okay, back on the profile. Now I'll keep that picture. Keep the runway, doesn't matter if you're in a Cessna, 727, 737, keep the runway in the same place in the windscreen at all times, and you won't go too high or too low. God.
500.
Checked. Tad high, so you see the runway's moving up in the windscreen, so pitching down. 3 whites is okay. Speed's a tad low. Alright, back established again, around 700 feet per minute. I'm just going to move my head so I can see the vertical speed indicator. Thanks for the donation, whoever that is. I will try and read that after we've landed. We've flown over that already. Oh, keep descending. Can't remember what the wind is. Continue. Oh my god. Alright, checked.
50, 40, 30,
Right, check.
20,
Close.
10.
Hold the attitude. Oh god, get down. Oh, I'll take that after that. Minus 86. Speed brakes up. Selecting reverses. Here comes the reverse thrust. God, those engines are slow to spool up. There's 100 knots. 80 knots. Manual braking. Trying to make this high speed exit here. Oh, we're just going to miss it. There's idle. Oh, keep braking, keep braking, keep braking. Those are going to be some hot brakes, that's for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leipzig, where the local time in the simulator is coming up to 9 AM. Oh my goodness, oh what an approach. I'm so annoyed with myself that all that navigation I screwed up, left and right, and that was horrible. But we fixed it, we got you down, we're here in one piece. I hope it's Leipzig anyway. If it's not, we've made a monumental cock-up, that's for sure. Right, little taxi straight ahead, part near the DHL bit, for a bit of realism. We'll turn the lights off. Turn off, and the strobe can come off as well. Weather radar can come off. Transponder's up here for some silly reason. That can go to... Or I'll just turn it off for now. Flaps can come up. Oh my god. Are you absolutely mental? Idiots. Alright, calm down. He's got nothing to lose. Right, flaps are coming up, speed brakes up. And hopefully that's disarmed. There we are. Awesome stuff. Right, oh yeah, we need to get the APU started, which is also in a very peculiar place. Right, start. Is that booting up? It is. Fantastic. Right, we might have to wait a few seconds for the APU. What we'll do, we'll park right in the corner here. There we go. Oh, this is... I tell you what, when I stream it can be quite tiring. This is exhausting. Absolutely exhausted after that. We're only halfway through the stream. Oh, what have I put myself into? Alright, anyway, here we go. Alpacas to drop off here in Leipzig, and then we'll take the next set of alpacas onwards to Salzburg. Alright, let's stick ourselves in here. And I already turned those lights off already, a little bit earlier. No idea where we're going to stop. This should do quite nicely. Right. Let's bring it to a stop. Ooh, well, we're not stopping, there we are. Excellent. So parking brake is set. How's that APU looking? I think we can close the bus now. Yeah, that looks like the APU's taking the load, so let's just shut the engines down. 2 blues. Well, not 2 blues, lots of oranges, and the engines are dead. It's not making any funny noises. No, I think we're good. Low oil pressure, perfect. Beacon off. Should wait until the engines spool down a little bit more. Fastest seatbelt sign can come to off. I think I have to switch this. Someone told me to essential power. I have absolutely no idea what this is, but switch that to APU. Hydraulic system B pumps come off. I think I've done everything. Packs can come off as well. These will open up shortly. We'll leave it running on the APU. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leipzig. Here we are. Engine spooling down. God, approach, man. Oh, anyway, we made it. We're here in one piece. What is that? It's like leaking. I hope that's nothing major. But here we are, in one piece, in Leipzig. Engine spooling down, and yeah, brilliant. I can't believe it. The approach was good. Landing very happy with. And I'll review that approach later on when I replay and see what happened there. Right, let me just see who donated, because I think I might have missed a few on the approach there. Michael, you donated twice. Thank you very much. €2.29 butter her, and €5.29. All the stuff going on has me shaking right now. Michael, if you think you're shaking, I'm absolutely shaking like a leaf here. It's the APU exhaust. Ah, interesting. That's an interesting place to put it. Right, anyway, what I'm going to do, let's have a look at the landing on the replay. I'll then have a quick 5-10 minute break so you can watch it taxi onto stand. Hopefully by the time I finish my break, we'll be exactly where we are, and then we'll set up for the second sector to Salzburg. So, without further ado, let's cue the replay music. 2 hours we've been going, boys and girls. Let's get ourselves onto the approach. There we are. I think FlyJSim's put a lot of work into the model to make sure that during the replay you get all the same effects, all the speed brakes coming up, the exhaust effects as well, which is really, really cool. It means you get quite awesome replays, as if were for a real aircraft. I think there's a slight crosswind there. Yeah, there we go. Coming over really slowly over the threshold. About 130 knots as well. That's sweet. Oh, we did float her out. Whoa, what was that? I don't know what caused that. I think it's a bit of a wet runway. Maybe the weather's updated itself. I think it's probably just started raining here in Leipzig perhaps, but it's definitely looking a bit squirrely there. Thank you very much to whoever that was that's just joined as a member. There be dragons. Fantastic. Thank you very much for the support as a member. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Let's just have a look at the replay one more time, as I also forgot to terminate Project Fly as well, but I'll do that in a second. But yeah, it was pretty buttery. That's just the water coming off the runway. Yeah, I'll take that. It was a little bit floaty, but after the approach, excellent. Well, the nose came up slightly, and then we selected reverse thrust. Uh-oh! I hope X-Plane's not giving up the ghost. That's not a good sign, is it? Ah, looks like X-Plane's crashed. Brilliant. Don't worry, we'll still continue the stream. What I'll do is just reload the sim, and then start on the stand, whatever stand we parked on. But that is not a good sign, is it? That is completely dead. Rip. Yeah, X-Plane's crashed. Alright guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw you to the Be Right Back screen, okay? Thankfully it's done it now, not on the approach, and I'll reload on the same stand anyway in X-Plane 11. Hopefully it'll all work correctly, but no, my whole PC's gone to shoot. I can't even open Streamlabs at the moment. Let me try and Control-Alt-Delete my way out of here. Right, that's working as well. Right, anyway, I'll throw you to the Be Right Back screen. We'll continue from where we left off. If anyone can remember what stand we parked on, that for continuation, that would be great. But yes, we will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, and I'll see you very shortly. Thanks for that. Oh, guys, I'm back. I think we're a-okay. Yeah, I just had a quick break. Well, the break was taken up by getting everything set up again, but I think we're in business. I hope you can all hear me okay. Yeah, X-Plane just crashed, thankfully, during the replay. If it ever was going to crash, that's the time to do it. It means we're going to have to go from cold and dark again instead of doing a transit setup. I have no idea what caused it to crash, but maybe that's a good thing because the sim would have reset and we can now do the flight safely. We're exactly where we left. Thank you very much, guys, for telling me that we did park on stand 402, which is exactly where we've respawned, so we are where we left it. And yeah, we're just going to get things set up for the second sector to Salzburg. Now, this is a much shorter flight. We're only going to go up to 25,000 feet. I think the flight to around 40 minutes or so. Nice approach, challenging terrain around. And as you can hear, it's just started raining here in Leipzig as well. Right now, a few CB clouds, rain, showers, 10 degrees, 1003. Obviously, we're using live weather, so it is the evening right now. It's going to be 8:15 in Germany, but in the simulator, we are 10 hours behind, so I think it's 9:15 in the morning in the sim. But yes, we'll see how we get on. So yeah, I think we're all good. Let's jump back in here. Yeah, it's cold and dark again, not as we left it, but it shouldn't take long to set up this aircraft. There's no FMC to load, so we'll just get the battery on, do exactly what we did before, try not to forget anything. Let's get the APU started straight away. Well, things are flicking away. Right, so I haven't set anything up here, so in Leipzig, all of the SIDs are conventional. There is one. Sorry, RNAV. There is one conventional SID, but you need RNAV anyway to fly it to get to some of the waypoints. So what we're going to do is fly what we call an omnidirectional departure. We're going to maintain runway heading and intercept at around the MSA, which is 2,700 feet, the radial inbound to the first waypoint on our approach. On our routing, and that is, I've got the flight plan here. Oscar Kilo Golf, which I forgot the name. I think it's called Sheb, the Sheb VOR. So that's what we're going to fly into there. Will 123185 just got back. What's going on? We had an interesting approach, but we did butter it in, and then the sim crashed during the replay. And we've reloaded back into the into the FlyJSim 727. So let's get the airport charts up. I'll show you the kind of SID we're roughly flying as well. It's going to be the Golat 1 Sierra. There we are for runway 26 left. So yeah, we're going to maintain heading until 10 dB, so we're going to get quite high, and then we're just going to go direct to Sheb, because we can't route to Delta Papa 551 or anything like that, so we'll see how we get on. Cool, so there's the charts. Let's get some electrical power to the aircraft. What we want to do is close the generator. There we are. So I'm just going to look up here, try and guesstimate it. Stall warning test. Brake to RTA. Look, I forgot to do that on the first sector. Navigation lights on. We'll put the beacon light on because we're going to start the engines quite shortly. Transponder to on out. Arm this. Seatbelt sign. These cool. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll leave these lights on because they're epic. I love that so much. Wipers. No smoking on. Fasten seatbelt sign is on. Let's put the window heat on. I want to know how this system works. It's very different to what I'd expect. Lighting's all done. We'll go to this panel here, put all the fuel pumps on. We need to load the fuel as well for the sector and the cargo. I'm going to use the exact same cargo as the first sector, because that's what the flight plan's based on. Hydraulic system B, I think we leave off. Electrical systems all set here. Open, packs off. 25,000 feet. Check our little table. 25,000 feet, cabin altitude of 1,400. So it should give us quite a high diff pressure still. It's trying to maintain a low cabin altitude. Elevation in Salzburg is quite high, I think. 1,400. Chart here. Right, so that's set. So what we're just going to do now is set runway heading, which is 263. You can still see it's still set up from the previous flight, because I think it remembers everything. 263, 263. I didn't get a chance to set anything up on the first officer side of that approach. Look, 07 else, 07 something rather. So let's get that set to 263. Let me know in the chat, are we doing another power pushback or are we doing a better pushback? I should think you want to do the powered pushback again. That was pretty cool. So that's runway heading QDM set. Let's set up our first VOR for departure. I'm going to route direct to the Sheb VOR, which is 15.7. So I'll leave the ILS active both sides. And I'm going to put 15.7 on standby, which is our first en route VOR. I'll show you everything there. Power pushback. For what's sake, we have many opportunities to do that. Q&H here in Leipzig. It's still 1003. So that is set on all the altimeters. Right, now we'll just run through the... No, we'll do the cargo first. Right, so yeah, we'll just load it up as we did on the first sector. So we'll empty that, empty that, empty that. Full here. Full. And these two are empty. It should be 14.86. 14.86 is correct. Fuel, let's have a look at our flight plan. Let's get rid of this for a second. Charts, OFP, Leipzig to Salzburg. So yeah, we need 7.7 tons. I'm going to put, again, an extra 30 minutes to allow for potential mistakes. So that'll be about 2.2 tons. So let's just call it 10 tons. That'll be a nice round figure. And that'll give me an extra 30-35 minutes at 10 tons of fuel. This one. Oh, we've already got 10 tons. We'll take a bit off then. There you go, 9980. I'll take that. So the aircraft's loaded, cargo's loaded. Fresh load of alpacas, ready for the next sector. Power is king. Love it. Gamer tube, video quality's very bad. Anyone else having problems? Everything seems okay my side here. So it might be something your side. Right, let's have a look at this checklist. I think we're all pretty much set up. So as I said, we're going to climb straight ahead runway heading. And then we're just going to say at about 10 DME, or 10 miles ahead, we're just going to route direct to the Sheb VOR, because there's no real SID here. As I said, the SID, which you can see selected here, it's initially conventional, 10 DME, but then we've got to go to these RNAV points. Taxi routing, yeah, we're just going to go up north, right turn, full length via Sierra 10, just here. And then actually I'll show you geographically where we're going, whilst we've got the Navi tab open. Super short sector. There we are. So departing, Sheb VOR is going to be about here, I think, or here. Oh no, I think that's the termination of the SID there. So Sheb VOR there, and then to Salzburg. Super short flight, guys, from the middle of Germany to, you know, right on the German-Austrian border, Salzburg. So epic stuff. Right, now, checklist. Let's dial through this. Batteries on, stall warning check, engine's done, armed, window heat's on. This is set. APU we've started. Beacon on. We did that earlier, didn't we? Galley power off, which it is. Packs can come off, which they are. Bleed PSI for start. Yes, we've got at least 30 PSI. And that is it. Right, let's do the same again to ground. Look at that. I didn't realise that. You get the actual reflections on the ground. Wow, that's super awesome. Yeah, I think my bit rate's a bit low. I'll have a fiddle with that. I'll try turning it up slightly again, but I think it was right at the limit of what my internet can take. Yeah, I think when I pan, all the pixels change. Cool. We'll just dial in flight level 250. There's no stop level associated with this. Lower pressure's gone out, so I think we can start this engine straight away. There we go, there's the N2. And N1 rotation. 20%. You can see the jump in fuel flow as well. Days. I hope you can hear me okay as well. Now, say my internet's playing up as well, so I hope you're still with me in the stream. We're having a few issues today, are we? My goodness. Right, there's low oil pressure, and we'll start engine number 1. There's N2 rotation. N1, that's 20%. Let's stick some fuel in the engine. You're reading me 5, Stuart. Okay, fair enough. It's saying that the stream bitrate's low on YouTube. I'm no expert streamer, so when things play up, I have no clue what to fix. I just try to fly this as realistically as I possibly can. Right, there we are. 3 good engine starts. Low pressure. Lights have extinguished, and right, we'll get her all ready for flight. So, let's close the bosses. That's all done. APU can come off. And probe heat on. Up here. There's no delay for the APU to shut down with the sounds of it, like on the 7.3. Guard these. Probes on. Oh yeah, I think I have to change something on here, don't we? Have to go for this to one of the generators. There we go. Hydraulics we need on. There we go. Here the pumps whirring. There's all the lights extinguished. Flaps 15 for departure. Which I need to set my bug card again. Takeoff. Flap 15. Set bugs. Trim needs to be set as well. Speed brakes disarmed. Right, I think we're in business. Oh yeah, oh god, put that flipping switch to flight as well. Ugh. Right, flight, aircraft's pressurising, I think. Right, I think we're okay. Oh gosh, no, I remember in FlyJSim, you didn't forget to do the main thing. Turn these off. Close, close. Packs on. God, that's why we do checklists, guys. This is why we have checklists. It's so important to make sure we get everything configured. I always get this duct overheat initially, though. PSI's dropped because of packs, passenger cabin temperature's increasing. Right, happy days. I think we're okay. We'll just double check the checklist anyway. So, engine start checklist is done. Anti-ice is required. PTO is on. Flight instruments set for departure. They are. Flight controls checked. Forward, back. Ailerons. There's no indication for the ailerons, but let's make sure the rudders are working. Upper and lower rudder are both twisting. Happy days. Speed brakes down, stab trim set for departure, flaps are set for takeoff, galley power on. That is on. And electrical, no lights, fuel heat off, hydraulics, pressure and quantities normal, there's no lights, they're working fine. APU's off, pressure set for cruise altitude, flight, EPR and airspeed bugs are set, and that's it. Rest will be cleared for takeoff, so we'll get ourselves taxied out. We'll do the pushback again. Well, not the pushback, the power back, and we'll go from there. David Smith, why is the gear lever mouldy? I think we're going for the kind of heavily used look which you'd expect from an aircraft of this age. Right, anyway, let's get ourselves backed out. So reverses are up. For some reason, the speed brake comes up. I don't think I'll ever be able to do that in my career. Don't speed brake either. Yeah. That should do us quite nicely. Right, so reversers are stowed. Speed brake we need to disarm again. There we are. Then we'll make a left turn, taxi to point runway 26 left. TSL fuel truck decides to drive across, so it did on the taxi in, and then he ran him over. Could be a catastrophe. Right, anyway, let's take the next load of alpacas onwards to Salzburg. There we are, nicely on the taxi line. It was raining here a second ago, but looks like the rain has stopped. We'll just make a, I don't know which way is which way's clockwise and anti-clockwise, but I think we'll make a right turn on Victor, the first right. I'll make sure you look where you're going. Everyone's trying to kill themselves today, look, someone else nearly crossed in front of us. Right, we'll take the first right here onto Victor. Apron takeoff approved. Well, it is a desktop simulator, anything's game. We'll we'll try and do it properly. There's the weather reloading in again. I think we can feel the wind because I'm having to use a little bit of continuous left rudder input here to maintain the taxiway here. Otherwise doing okay. Right, it's actually a lot quicker to get this thing started up and running because there's no IRS. You don't have to worry about the alignment or anything. Working well. No FMC to load. Obviously, I haven't really checked any takeoff performance calculations, so I'm just going 92% rated thrust. Hope that works. but it's working okay. Awesome. We'll do the before takeoff checklist very shortly. So yeah, obviously very quiet here in Sim World. I think we're the only aircraft here, but obviously this would be a major hub for DHL. I should think there's DHL 75s, 760, got 777s, haven't they? The Airbus A300s. They're everywhere. Yeah, I think you're right, Frank. Yeah, I don't think you can use brakes on, because you could easily topple. Yeah, probably. Probably got to judge it a little bit. And I only have one brake force, which is hard brakes on the joystick, so I'm a bit limited. Right, let's do the before takeoff checklist. So configs, warning horn. We'll do that. There's no noises going off, which is good. I don't even know if it has it, but that's checked. Flap set for departure 15. Stab trim set for departure. It is. Takeoff briefing, so the packs are set, bleeds are set, climb runway heading until we pick up the Sheb VOR, we'll fly direct to the Sheb VOR and then continue en route. Climbing straight up to flight level 250. NADP, something or other, this thing would fail all noise requirements anyway, so we'll probably bug up at around 3,500 feet. I might try and hand fly for a bit, we'll see how we're getting on. And that's it, it's reviewed, there's no Gabagutaro, so that's secure. We'll imagine the checks are complete, and we've got our clearance, so lights on, strobes can come on, make our left turn here, there's the weather radar, and transponders are TARA, but we wouldn't expect any traffic today. Right, now I can fiddle with the other things. Weather radar is on. I have no idea if the tilts works. I think it does in the FlyJSim. And then the TARA is set. So transponder TARA, strobe lights are on, landing lights are on. There we are, cleared takeoff. And let me just get an update on the weather here in Leipzig. Surface wind is 250 at 12, so it's wind straight down the runway. That's the way we like it. Nice 60 metre wide runway here, I think, as well. All looking good. No timer to start on this old bad boy. We'll just have to guesstimate the flight. Is the project fly up as well? I think I did activate that. Yes, it is. Excellent. So we should have accurate data as we fly along. Right, hope you're ready, guys. Let's get on our way to Salzburg. So throttling up to around 50% N1. Is everything alright in the back there? Engineer Fred, yes. FlyJSim, thanks a lot, Nigel in the front there. Oh god, I'm trying to do everything myself. Right, let's set takeoff first. Around 92% N1. It's feeding that thrust. There we are. That should work out. Lovely. Coat back out. I hope it doesn't crash again. Yeah. Me too. Right, and I should be concentrating on the chat. I'll catch up with you in a second, guys. 80 knots checked.
E1. Rotate.
Up we go. Now we're airborne. Keep rotating. I think at this weight. Nice to go up to 20 degrees, no problem. And here goes the gear. And trim. Going a little bit slow, so I'm going to pitch down to about 150 knots. I'm just going to maintain runway heading for a short while. back of it. Awesome. So we're going to maintain runway heading. I'll get the Sheb VOR up very shortly. We're already losing the ILS frequency. That's completely fine. Sheb VOR was 15.7. So we've already picked up the radial. So we're going to maintain this heading till 3,500 feet. And I'm just going to make a left turn just to route direct to the beacon. And we'll accelerate now to 250 knots. So we're essentially bugging up. And I'll make that turn and accelerate at the same time. So imagine, yeah, Alpaca 02, you're cleared direct to the Sheb VOR. And continue climb flight level 250. So there, we're accelerating. I'll select flaps to 5. So I'm using the RMI here to navigate direct to the beacon. Flaps to 2. No idea what the correct flap retraction schedule is on this aircraft. And flaps to 1. Keep lowering that nose. I'm trimming nose down as well. Maintain about 1,000 feet per minute. Just overbank slightly there. Keep trimming. Thrust to around 90%. That should do us quite nicely. Trim, 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 trim. Need to trim a lot nose down. Let's get the course lined up. There we are. Still accelerated to 250 knots. Need a squidge of engine NTIs, please, first officer. We'll just get above this cloud anyway. Right, still trimming nose down, just approaching 250. Still flying manually for now. We'll get 1013 set. Nicely trimmed at 250 now. 1013, because we're climbing to a flight level. A little bit fast, look, around 270. I thought it was quite nicely trimmed to 250, but it's just accelerated a little bit quickly there. You can really get a good rate of climb now, because I'm just leaving the thrust where it is and just pitching for 250 knots. There we go. Right, that should do us quite nicely. So what we're going to do is come down here, engage, nav lock, indicated airspeed, hold, inbound to the Vorlock. That's good. Should be maintaining 250 knots for now. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah, altitude arm. And we'll do the after takeoff checklist. So gear up and off. Taxi light can come off. Check the pressurization. Diff pressure's increasing. Cabin altitude. Sorry, diff pressure's here. Increasing 4 psi. Cabin altitude slowly increasing. That's very much. So that's all set. There we are. Check's complete. Where are we going, Vorlock? It makes me think I've really forgotten to do something here properly. Yeah, I know what I've forgotten to do. Put the correct course in. Look. That's completely my fault. That's why it's so difficult to fly these aircraft. Had it in 180 degrees the wrong way, which is a common error during instrument flying. So it was trying to track away from the towards the VOR, but away from it at the same time. So it's all weird indications, but that's completely my fault. That's because I'm tired. It's hard work flying this aircraft. Right, there's 10,000 feet. Let's accelerate up to. Let's climb at 300 knots now. And we'll do the pre-cruise checks. The lights coming off. And that's all off. APU's on pressurization. We just checked. Let's release some of the passengers. Or the alpacas. You are now permitted to smoke on board. There we are. Pre-cruise checks complete. That's better. Now we're routing direct to Sheb. 15. So I really don't like this. I just want the classic 7.3 active standby, and then you can flick it across. None of this business here where on the standby box on the 737 here it's actually active. That's what happened on the approach into Leipzig. I got very confused with what was active and what wasn't active. I forgot to have to flick it across this switch here. So I'm just going to go 15.7 on both boxes here. I'll recycle nav lock just to make sure that we're flying directly to it. Nav lock's engaged. There we are. Happy days. Inbound to the Sheb VOR. Brilliant. So flying inbound on the 171, we'll bring up the FO's course as well. God, these streams, guys, I really haven't got much time for chat, so apologies if I'm missing stuff up. I'm trying my absolute hardest to nail this aircraft. I really want to nail this approach. Now, Salzburg, I've not practiced this approach in the 7.2, but it should be a little bit easier. There's no fiddling with frequencies. There's just a VOR and an ILS with DME thankfully attached to it, so all I need to do is flick from the VOR to the ILS and we get a bit closer and we should be grand. Perfect. Romulo Barbosa Ribeiro, what's the total air temperature? Oh yeah, I remember I was going to show you how we sped up how it increases, but you can see the total air temperature, look, it's 0 degrees, just below freezing, but you'll actually look at the static air temperature, it's -20, that's because of something called ram rise, or compressibility. The heat of the friction is heating up the temperature probes there, so you always get a slight difference. Joe Worrell, do you use Active Sky? I do. What add-on do you use for your son? Nothing. I've just got Active Sky installed and a X-Vision preset made by one of the channel members. Finn Hunt, what runway are you landing on? I've not actually looked at the weather at Salzburg all day. Right now, 10k, showers of rain, calm wind. So I'll be straight in on runway 15. Yeah, there's a tempo of, what, wind is 1303 with tempo 290 and 20 gusting 30. That's interesting. It could be calm winds, or it could be a 20 knot gusting crosswind. Crikey. Right, let's show you where we're going anyway. Get rid of these charts. It's a super short flight, like I said. I haven't even worked out where we need to start descending or anything like that, like we did with the Leipzig approach. So, arrival. We're going to be flying none of the arrivals because they're all RNAV based, but just to show you, we're going to be sort of flying the Badit arrival because we're going to be going Badit direct to Salzburg, which is the initial approach fix for runway 15, and we'll make sure we're on this kind of 163 track roughly. And then we want the ILS approach for 15 here, which will be routing from Salzburg to the NDB 382, and then we'll instant localize and fly the approach. Now, massive mountains here. Okay, so missed approach, very important. Climb straight ahead. I need to go out to 2 DME and then make a left turn back to the Sierra India NDB, and then you go, eventually I think you make your way back to Salzburg. You hold at the Salzburg NDB for the missed approach there. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. You can see, look, category C, I think that's where the 727 falls into, but look, maximum speed and bank angle to ensure that you don't exceed this. If you exceed this turn, you're going to hit a mountain, so it's quite important there. Frank William, oh come on, circle 3-3, you know you want to, not really. we'll take a look. That sort of approach. Now, if I was flying this sector in real life, if I was going to Salzburg and I thought there'd be a chance of circling, I'd prepare for that at home prior to the flight. I'd get all my tracks sorted out so I know what's going on, or certainly on the cruise there. But I'm not sure the circling approach here. Just reading about it in the charts. They do a visual RNAV approach for 3-3, circling runway 3-3. Oh god, that looks very complex. So I think we sort of break off the approach. So how do I go? A unique circle. I'm just reading it. Purple star approach. Circling runway 3-3. So you go down to the approach at the NDB and then you make a left turn. I mean, we'll try the ILS. If it's some gnarly tailwind, I might have a go at the circle, but that'll be hard. Right, there we are. So we've got up to 250. Still flying inbound to Shib. We're going to fire Mach decimal 80, 350 knots indicated. Very inefficient. Sweet. Right, so let's just double check we need to go after Sheb. this is the right flight plan. So after Sheb, which is Oscar Kilo Golf, we're going to go direct to Romeo Delta Golf and then direct to Salzburg. So, just check the track after Sheb. I love saying that word. Like a child. So, Sheb 15.7. Our initial magnetic track is going to be 5.7. We're going to go 172 from Sheb. So we'll dial up. Oh, it's pretty much what we're doing already. So what I'm going to do is go 172 now, just to show you here. Look, Sheb 157 at the moment. We're just going direct now. That after that 172 outbound from Sheb as well. So we're going our current track is fine. We're going straight overhead the beacon. 172. So the aircraft's just levelled off because I told it to accelerate to Mach decimal 80. Now we're definitely burning a hole now, so you can hear all the with the wind noise as well. It's just like in the 7.3 when you have a high indicated airspeed. Frank, I had a look at the approach briefly, Frank, but I think I'll avoid it where I can. I just want to nail the approach here. Oh, I was so angry with that approach into, well, not angry, into Leipzig. Like it's this tuning box. You know, I've said already, nav one standby your active standby in modern equipped aircraft, not this transfer switch, which is really annoying. Right, flight level 250. So I'm just going to bring the thrust back to maintain decimal 83. God, this is crazy speeds. Like, doing this 350 knots indicated. This is very inefficient. Will 123 185. How long is this flight? Not very long at all. I should think we'll be on the ground 30 to 40 minutes from now. Just again bringing that thrust back. It's really hard to set the thrust in this. We'll need about 75% N1, probably a bit more. So let's stabilise there. So yeah, we need to work out when to initiate the descent here. So let's have a look at the flight plan. What I want to look at is the remaining distance here. So you see your remaining distance. We're at flight level 250, so I want to find somewhere that's about 75 miles away. See this bottom thing here, remaining distance, so 235, 224, 135, 80, what is this? 77, oh, there you go, look. Roading is 77 miles away. We're at 25,000 feet, so we want to descend 75 miles away. So when we're directly over the roading VOR, I think that'll be a perfect point to initiate descent, so 14.7. A bit more thrust here as well. So I'm going to tune up 14.7 and we'll bring it up on box 2. Oh, look at that. Roading on box 2 already, 68 miles. We're going to be starting our descent in about 5 minutes. Very, very close here. Wow, I didn't actually realise how short this flight was. What was the total time on the flight plan? Didn't even look at this. I literally generated this 10 minutes before the stream. A bit more flight, because I said to the guys, look, 40-minute flight time is very short. So yeah, sorry, not even that. I think we'll be landing in about 20-25 minutes. Cool. So yeah, what we're going to do, guys, excuse me, is fly from Roding, that VOR which I've got on box 2, direct to Salzburg VOR. Once we cross the Salzburg VOR, we're going to fly to the NDB 382, which I better dial in now. It's already, well, it's fluky, it's already on standby. We'll put it active this side. And we'll put here the NDB for Sierra India 410 on standby, in case we have to go around. Oh, actually, we've got 2 NDBs here. We're used to that. So, oh yeah, let's just go back to heading select, so we're going to fly over this beacon. So, we'll see the needle drop any second. I've already flown past it. It looks like we might have already just gone past it. I didn't even realise. We have 6-7. So we've just flown over the top of Sheb. So what we'll do, we'll bring it up 14.7 this side. There we are. And this is the roading we are. We'll initiate descent in 50 miles. So back to flock. Happy days. Longcat, wasn't the VC-10 absurdly fast? Yeah, I think it was. It did shift that aircraft. I think that had a very high cruise speed. So, what I want to have next is Salzburg. So 13.8. We'll put that on box 2 here, and we can have the DME hopefully for that already. 13.8. Yeah, look, we're already picking up the Salzburg DME, so really close now, 114 miles away. Double check the frequency as well. Salzburg, 13.8. Let's have a listen to make sure it's the correct one. So, 3 dots, dash dot dot, dot, dash dash dot. I think we've only done this about twice all stream. Why am I not hearing anything? There we go. That's definitely Sierra Bravo Golf, so that's correct. We know that nav2 is correctly tuned. And again. There you go. Cool. So, very close stop and descent now. And then we'll go down. Wing It VC-10 was absurdly overwinged for hot high ops in Africa. Yeah, I think that was a brilliant aircraft. How about the 2+145 and cruise speed of Mach 0.86? This shift. I guess with this design, with the engines closely in line, you can really have a higher Mach number. I mean, I'm just talking out of my backside there, no idea. I mean, here, look, you could happily do... Yeah, I could do Mach 0.8586, no problem. I mean, MMO here is about 0.88. So you could do it. Now, I think for simplicity, what we'll do is, because I kind of half want to fly this arrival, I know it's an RNAV arrival, but you can work out where bad it is. We're flying inbound 163, radial 343 from Salzburg, so what we could do is just, you know, when you're 10 miles away on this radio, you know you're exactly overhead Badit. That's how you do your kind of position fixings in Roll 8. So what I'm going to do is, imagine AC said, okay, Alpaca 02, route direct to Salzburg on the 163 radial, report at Badit, and then we know we're at Badit because we're 10 miles away. So what we can do is go back to heading select, dial in 13.8 now, and what I'm going to do here is put the ILS active straight away, so I don't forget 1089, and then I need to remember to flick it over when we get closer. 1089. We are, and 163 radial, so we'll dial in 163 on the course, and what this is telling you is, it's telling you to fly right to intercept that course there, so, and that way we're flying exactly overhead Badit when we want to, so we can do that, give ourselves a nice little intercept, and we can again engage nav lock. There we are. It's already bitten it, look, Vorlock, and we're now flying inbound on this radial, the 343 radial, and when we're at 10 DME, we'll know exactly overhead Badit, which is quite cool. Right, annoyingly though, because I've gotten rid of the other VOR, I don't know when to start my descent, so we'll go back to roading. What was the roading frequency? Oh, this is the problem! 14.7. We just dial that up briefly. There you go, because I want this to count to 0, so I know when to start our descent. Cool. Right, so I hope we're all kind of making sense. I hope you're still with me with the instrument flying. We managed to get this aircraft all the way from East Midlands to Leipzig to this current position using just raw data, VR to VR. It's working well, and so this is quite a nice simple approach straight in on the ILS, so hopefully there's no more button flicking to do. All I need to do is put this back to 13.8 when we cross roading. I've got the ILS tuned, so I shouldn't have to change too much. The only other thing was the minimums. 154 is the final approach track, and the minimums for this approach, category C. Again, I have to set the radio altimeter here, so 389. Let's call that 390. On here. That'll do us absolutely fine. Carl Childers, you can set up massive sync rates in the jet and the landing config. Killed a few folks when the jet was new, had to learn how to manage it on landing in its full dirty config. Yeah, I mean, we just flew it quite lightweight. It's very draggy. It's really draggy. I think when I was playing with it the other day with the speed brakes, you can get some quite strong, excessive descent rates in this thing. It was really easy to get down. But yeah, the engines take some time to spool up, so if you have any issues there, you get yourself into trouble. So I'd expect it to be starting to turn now. You know, because we're now on that radial, tail of the needle, as we expect. Head of it's on 163. Why is that not turning? What, 13.8? Let me just cycle Vorlock again. There you go, look. I think there's a slight bug there because it should have started the turn. I've just recycled Navlock off and on again, and now it is tracking inbound on the radial. Thanks, Les. Group ILS is 1089. You'll see it's on. It's on the other side. It's on the active side on the 7.3 and on the first officer. So all I've got to do is flick across. But yeah, we're going to start our descent directly over Roding. It should work out quite nicely. Steve Bayer coming in with 5 for as well. Thank you very much, Steve, again for the continued support as a member and donating again. You'll need a drink after this, boss, so here's one on me. I will definitely need a stiff drink. I'm gonna crack out the Captain Morgans after this stream. I'm gonna have a glass of rum. I'm gonna have it neat with ice. It's my current drink at the moment. God knows what I've started in Discord now with the rum-themed banter. Oh dear. Winged it, or did you get blocked by Nightbot? Yeah, Nightbot is really strict. Right, anyway, approaching Roding. I think we'll dial in our altitude here. So the MSA is all to the south, the high terrain. So initially, let's have a look at Badit. 4,000. I think we go straight down to 4,000 here, because that's the minimum altitude. So what I'm going to do is dial in 4,000. Here comes overhead the VOR. There's needle swings. We're directly overhead. 4,000. Start bringing the thrust back. And I want IAS hold. There we go. And the aircraft's pitching down, and we're going to do around 300 knots in the descent. That should work out quite nicely. Cool, so we're done with Roding VOR. What I want to do now is bring up 13.8 here. So we're both on Salzburg VORs, both captain and first officer, and then all I've got to do is switch over to the ILS when I get a bit closer. I'm going to select ADF here too, because we have got the Salzburg NDB tuned here. But there we are, we've just started our descent into... I say descent, we're climbing, it's because I forgot to take the thrust off. All cut out, thank you for showing me over that. Yeah, because I selected indicated airspeed hold, I left the thrust off, it's actually climbing to maintain the speed. So don't forget, no auto throttle, you need to reduce the thrust yourself. We're probably a little bit high now, because I wanted to descend about 5 miles before, but we'll keep an eye on it, see how we get on. We can modify things with the speed brake if we find we're a little bit high still. In fact, the Salzburg VOR, I think, how many miles away is it? It's about 10 miles away, so the total distance is 10 miles plus this to run, so 64, 612, 80, yeah, we're a little bit high. So what I might just do is use a bit of speed brake. Let's bug 300, let's drag her out a bit. I think this, you'll see quite impressive descent rate here. It's so easy to get down. Look at that, 6,000 feet per minute, no problem. And it's still decent. Look, it's still slowing down. That's insane. We're off the scale here. That's TCAS range. Oh, it's ridiculous, and we're still slowing down. Speed brake here is like, I don't know. Well, I think it's just dirty airplane. Right, I think that's probably fixed everything. I'm going to stow the speed brake. I don't think we're going to be too high now. Flipping heck. Oh yeah, just the landing bugs, haven't we? I'm so used to going to the Z-Mode to check things. Bug cards, landing, flat 30, set bugs. There we are. 128's our VREF again, so we'll fly about 135. That should be fine. Weird. That's why pilots love the 727. Yeah, no problem getting down. That's for sure. So we're going to have about 50 miles to run shortly, so I'm adding 10 miles to this, because Salzburg VORs are roughly about 10 miles before the airport, just to show you here. VOR Salzburg, 12.8 miles, you can see. So I'm just adding 10 miles to this distance to roughly work out how many miles we have left to go. So 43 plus 10, 53 miles. Probably, again, a tad bit high, but we'll keep an eye on that as we get closer. Les Grebe, your frequency and nav is pre-selected to 1089 instead of 1099. Both set to 1089 here. Oh, very good. Sorry, I've got you now. I was just testing you there, Les Grebe. Just testing you. Brilliant. Well spotted there, because that could have caused a hiccup. Oh, no. Thank you very much for that. Seatbelt sign on. I will eventually learn where this thing is. Fasten seatbelts on. Refrain from smoking, please. Dougal McTavish, just testing. That's the ultimate. If anyone ever, I remember was in the sim instructing if you forget to set something up, you know, forgot to configure it for the next exercise, they'll be like, oh, you forgot to select your V-speeds, or so you forgot to set the V-speed. I was like, oh, I was just testing you. It works a charm. Les Grebe, you're welcome, thank you. Yes. Now, in the 7.2, it's quite hard to check for your identification because you don't have your idents. You've got to listen to your nav aids. It's considerably harder to fly than the 7.3. But obviously, this is a three crew aircraft. You'll have someone doing all that for you, you know, whilst you fly the airplane. It is not easy. It's not that, just testing. Right, anyway, let's see what happens actually. We tune up the ILS. Getting any information. They're too far out at the moment. Give the FO the ILS for now. We've lost the DME obviously there, but we've got the DME here for Salzburg. But as soon as the DME comes alive, that should be when the ILS is in range. Explain, you know, I think they only give you the active ranges based on the designated operational coverage. In reality, you can pick up the DME quite a distance off an ILS, and you can use it to sort of help your situation awareness with how far out, especially if you're flying straight in. But you shouldn't be using it. You should be using other things. Yeah, 30, 40 miles, 4, 8, 12. We're about there, guys. I think we're about there on profile. Oh, there's our aeroplane, definitely heading in the right direction again. Now remember, when we're 10 DME, it says 10, we're going to be at Badit. So we could actually do a, you know, if ATC asks for a position fix, you could say, yeah, we're at Badit when this says 10 DME. Stuart Payne donating £5, thank you very much, buddy. Just got back from taking the little one ice skating, so catching the stream up from the start. Hope you're good, Captain. High winds out there tonight. Thank you very much, Stuart, for the donation. Yes, I don't know how far away you are from East Midlands, but it's very windy there, departing earlier. Quite an eventful approach into Leipzig, but the landing was good. At least, but had a little bit of frequency issues with this goddamn pedestal, but overall okay. Now, so we bugged back to reduce the speed and indicated airspeed. It should not be climbing like that. We should be maintaining around, you know, level flight or a slight rate of descent. So it's kind of balloons there because I bugged the speed back. Just make sure we're definitely in IS hold. So the automation shouldn't allow that to happen. Dougal Nightbot hereby gives you permission to spam the like button. Yes, if you are enjoying the content, if you enjoy watching me stress out, I feel exhausted flying a 727. Don't forget to smash the likes button for more crazy content. Oh my goodness. Right, bring that speed back to 250. So about 20 miles to run into Badit. 10 miles to go, sorry, to Badit. 20 miles to run to Salzburg. Christian, how far away can you pick up the ILS of the 737? You're getting the cruise level, you can pick up ILS sometimes. But you should only use it to navigate if you're in the DOC. Operational coverage area, which are glide slope around 10 miles, localising 17 off the top of my head, but it can vary. Cool, right, let me just get an update on the weather in Salzburg, because it was looking a bit potentially dicey. All wind shear reported on all runways, temporary 290, 15 gusting 25, but the steady wind is 1608, so that's straight down the runway, but they've got some weird gnarly wind shear going on there. Oh god, I hope we don't get any wind shear. Oh god. Have a look at your METARs at Salzburg, guys. It is not looking ideal. Right.
50.
Approaching Badit. Thank you very much, Ryan27679 for the donation as well. £3. Must try shared cockpit one day, boss. Happy laddies. Oh god, I need a shared cockpit for this, that's for sure. Thank you very much for the donation there, buddy. Appreciate that. Right, let's do our post-cruise checks. Fuel lights, logo is not required. APU's off. Pressurization, I've not checked that once the entire sector, but we're still breathing. As said, seatbelts on. There's no recall there. There we are, checks complete. And we're at 10 DME. So we're literally at Badit now, going down to around 4,000 feet. So we've got about 10, 30. I think we're pretty much on profile here. Freckles Aviation, my Nightbot isn't as sophisticated at telling you the METAR yet. I haven't set that up, but I'd have to keep updating that, obviously, so I don't bother having that. There we are. 10 miles, we should be directly over here. If I just show you the airplane icon, boom, there we are. Happy days. Cool, and it looks like we've got the ILS as well. So, oh, look at that. We are literally bang on the glide slope. That just shows you guys 3 times your height. It works really, really nicely. Now, I'd say we're a bit high because we do still need to slow down as well. But we're going to continue in this mode first because we're going to go towards the Salzburg VOR. And I'm just going to use a bit of speed brake. You can kind of cheat a bit because you've already got the glide slope information. But I just want to get around 1 dot low. Just to allow for us to slow down. Obviously, when we slow down, we need to pitch up here. Right, we probably need a tad bit of engine anti-ice on here as well. Again, I don't know how that exactly works. I think we just do this. I think that works. Left, right, no idea. Oh, we definitely got 1 engine anti-ice on. 2. 3rd? Not sure. We can pop it off now anyway. So you can see, look, we're now getting a little bit low on the glide slope. Approaching Salzburg VOR. There comes the terrain. This is going a lot better than the first approach, that's for sure. I think we can, fair to say, stow the speed brake. That speed brake is ridiculous. Absolutely insane. And I think we can now step down. No, we need to maintain 4,000, I think. That's the platform for the ILS. Yeah, 4,000. Bring 16 miles yet, definitely bring the speed back now. About to fly directly overhead to Salzburg VOR, so I'm going to go back to heading select. Where is it? There it is. I need to arm this as well, otherwise we're going to go low. And again, look, it's climbing because I've bugged this speed up. Should not be climbing. Right, we're directly overhead to Salzburg VOR. Ooh, cheating. 382 NDB. 382 is active, so we can switch this to ADF. I'm just going to use heading to fly direct to the NDB, and then we'll bring up the ILS now, 109.9, and we'll set the final approach track for the runway, which is 154. Happy days, and we'll just route towards the NDB in heading, and then I'll engage. We need to keep descending, though. Come on, I'm going to go to 220 now, otherwise it's going to get high. And I think we'll just select a notch of flap now. Approaching 10 miles, and I'll arm Vorlock. Auto glide slope. Get this to auto approach as well. Localizer's captured. Just going to bring the speed back as well. Just waiting for that glide slope to capture as well. I have no idea how the glide slope captures again. Look, we should be biting onto this glide slope. Again, I think I'm forgetting to do something up here. Oh, it's done it now. Look, glide slope capture. Happy days. That, I can't believe it. We did a continuous descent in the 727. Sweet. Right, flaps, go for another notch of flaps. Bring the bug speed to 160. Missed approach altitude is 6,000 feet. We'll dial that up there. So we're going to climb straight 2 DME in the event of a missed approach. Happy days. 9 miles. We're struggling to slow down a bit here, so we're going to go flat 15. But you know what? I'm going to drop the gear. Let's go dirty, just to get that speed back. 8 miles. Happy days. So have a good guess at the landing rate. I hope we don't have any of these wind shear conditions here. Eric T, fantastic. Glad you spotted that. I was just testing it. Medium on the auto brake. Speed's coming back nicely. Oh god, I'm literally winging this. I'm not doing any real checklists. Let's go for flap 30. I think we're probably going too fast. Let's bump the speed. 130 knots. There's definitely some sort of crosswind going on here. Look at that. What is going on in the sim right now? Oh, I wish I had the ATIS. Right, oh, look at this. The engines are so slow to spool up. Right, speed brake have I armed? That's armed. Right, let's do some sort of checks here. So, start switches, there aren't any. Recall, there isn't any. Speed brakes armed. Landing gears down. 3 green. Auto brake is set. Flaps are set. We are clear to land. There's something going on with the winds here because the runway is there, not here. It's windy for sure in X-Plane 11. Let me just have a look at. I'm just having a look at active sky in the background here. Should be looking at the aeroplane flying it. I'm really interested to know what the wind is though. Weather control, home, map. I have no idea. It's windy, that's for sure. Right, I'm going to concentrate on what's going on as well. I think it just looks at the METAR, but I'm going to take control here. Flare? Alright, does this do an auto land? I have no idea. Right, let's get this thing off. I think I'm going to probably do an okay-ish job, I hope. Right, I'm going to get back onto the localizer here, because we're well to the right of the localizer. I don't know what the automation's doing. Speed's a bit high. Wind's all over the place. It looks like there's a crosswind coming on the left now, but it was definitely the right before. It's horrible not knowing what the wind is.
1,000.
Checked. So we're on 2 reds, 2 whites. Speed's okay. Wind's definitely going from the right, I think. 3 reds, so I'm just going to kind of do about 500 feet per minute. Add that thrust so your speed doesn't get like, oh, this is so slow to react. These old engines. Right, speed's back under control, so set our target thrust, which I have absolutely no idea what it is. So we need to maintain this speed. Keep descending. If you're interested, the scenery I think is again from JustSim, the same developers that made Leipzig. Nice factual bit of information. There's some nice miles to hit there. Checked. 3 reds, turn low, continue, and that thrust. Keep descending now. Speed's a little bit low, I think we're on VREF there, so just want to get that speed up to about 3.5.
300.
Looking okay. Centerline's okay, on the approach. Glide slope's good, probably a tad low. Don't go chasing it at this stage. A displace threshold here. 3 reds. Tad low, don't worry about it at this stage.
50.
Speed's a bit low.
30.
Check,
20.
close,
10.
hold that attitude. It's not the longest of runways here, so I'd quite like to get down in a second. Oh, 160, oh, a bit of a thumper. Right, speed brakes up, reverses. And reverses are selected. And manual braking, let's see if we can make this high speed exit. I'm really cooking these brakes today. There's 60 knots. Those brakes would be super duper hot. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, is that an exit there? What is that? Oh, I have no idea. Let's take a right here. I thought this here was a high speed exit. I was going to go trundling down here. Probably meant to vacate here. Oh my goodness. We made it. Yeah, there was definitely some sort of floaty ground effect going on in the 7.2 there. Right. Flaps up. Speed brakes up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Salzburg. We vacated at Delta. I didn't even look at the landing performance or the length of the runway. Oh dear. I've got this useful feature here to come up. We'll go left and then right onto stand. There we are. Cool. What a day of streaming. What 2 flights we've had. But we did it. We didn't crash. We're still waiting for that first ever crash in a FlyJSim live stream. It hasn't happened yet. I mean, literal crash of the aircraft, not a X-plane crash, but we're doing okay so far. I think we'll call it a sort of success. Right, probe's coming. Oh, look, I left the engine anti-ice on. My goodness, probe can come off. Strobes can come off. We'll make a right turn here. Weather radar, can't quite reach it here. Find ourselves a nice little stand to park ourselves on. Get that APU fired up as well. Oh look, that's my other aircraft I like to stream in as well, DC-3. I love that DC-3, I want to do another stream in that aircraft. Alright, let's get the weather radar off now before we damage anyone else. That's off. And APU, we can fire up. Come on, start. I think that's going on okay. I was half guessing where the turn was whilst I was starting the APU. Make sure that's firing up. It is. And then we'll get ourselves a nice little stand here on the left. Where do we want the cargo aircraft? Here in Salzburg. I have absolutely no idea. I think we'll just park ourselves in front of the terminal this evening. Probably was meant to go over there. Let's take the next left. Dougal McTavish, thank you very much. 2 brilliant flights. Kawabaka, you must be exhausted. I am. I've got a headache as well. That was hard work. Oh dear. Right, let's take Whiskey 4. Yeah, it's when you're navigating like this, it's hard work for sure. But I really like that approach into Salzburg. I kind of guessed the descent calculation, but it just shows you how simple it is and how much you can kind of nail your. Turn the wrong lights off. Look. You can nail your descent planning. I mean, it's probably slightly different in the 7.2 than it is in the 7.3, but I just use the same, and it worked out quite nicely. And continues to send no VNAV. It's always a rewarding sensation. Right, I think we'll bring it to a stop. Parking brake is set. APU's all up and ready. Let's trip her. No, not trip. Look, I'm getting tired. Look, close it. There we are. Oh my goodness. 3 engines off. I'll turn the beacon off now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Salzburg. There we are, in one piece. Brilliant stuff. I can't believe that. Alright, I'll have to take a look at some of those comments. Tim, thank you very much for coming in a donation today as well. Many of my friends know my little girl has been in hospital and it's still not that good up and down. HSP. Well, Tim, you should have donated. Tell me that. Let us know in Discord. But thank you very much, Tim, for the donation. I'm sorry to hear that, and I hope she does make a continued quick recovery there. Guessing you guys were guessing a bit more of a butter look. -90, -90. It's 160 in the end, wasn't it? It was a little bit heavier than I expected there. Bit of discussion about Zulu and GMT there. So Zulu is UTC, not GMT. No, it's all the same. UTC, GMT, and Zulu. It's all the same. Based off the Greenwich Meridian. Cool. TSL, your ability to taxi not looking where you're going is amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much as well, Freckles Aviation, for the £2 donation too. Next time you should fly the L1011 TriStar or the 747CL. Oh, very challenging aircraft. Freckles, I need a break. I can't fly like these aircraft every stream. I won't last many years, that's for sure. Awesome stuff, guys. Right, well, we'll try and do the replay again. Touch wood. We won't have any issues or anything like that. I'm sure I was meant to complete some sort of shutdown checklist, and I've left half the other things as well. But we'll jump straight into the replay, and then I will call it a day on this stream. Awesome stuff, guys. Right, so we'll jump in that view and cue the music. Right, it's only been running for 1 hour and 7 minutes, explain. It was a very short flight, that one. Let's get ourselves into this position here. I'm just going to shut off Project Fly in the background, guys, as well. There we go. Complete the flight. There we are. Cool stuff. So, let's get ourselves a little bit closer to the threshold.
500.
Check. Please don't crash on us. Oh yeah, anyway, coming over the threshold. No wind shear either on the approach. Could have been very gnarly. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Look at the nose wheel go. It's not quite synced. Oh, it could have been a slammer. Yeah, look, flared just about 5 feet, 10 feet too high. And then it just kind of plonked out as we lost lift as well. Yeah, I'll take that after today's efforts. Let's have a look from here. Look at that nose wheel turning. Oh, look at that little tyre screech as well. That was cool. Let's do that one more time. That nose wheel turning. There's no smoke, unfortunately, but we did get a little... That's cool. I love how they recorded that. There we go. Nicely touched down. Awesome stuff, guys. Right, well, we'll end it with a nice little wing view replay. Thank you very much to everyone that turned up during this live stream. Quite a challenging one to fly. A big shout out to FlyJSim obviously for making the aircraft too. I think we just missed out on the sale if you want to get it, but it is obviously a phenomenally great payware aircraft. That's all I can say to it, really. I've really enjoyed flying it, although it's been exhausting. Sorry for my kind of getting lost in Leipzig approach there. I was all over the place with my nav frequencies, but I think overall a good success. We managed to get ourselves to Salzburg via Leipzig using where I could real-world operating procedures, so I'm pretty pleased with that. So we'll see again. I'll no doubt jump into this aircraft again, and hopefully with a bit more proficiency next time. Excellent. Thank you very much everyone that donated, subscribed. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button if you like the content. Next live stream, I haven't got anything planned at the moment, but we'll hopefully have something with you in the next week or so, because I am currently off work. Guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much again, FlyJSim. Glad you enjoyed the aircraft. Thanks for promoting the stream as well, which I understood you did on Twitter earlier, so I do appreciate that. Excellent, guys. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you on the next live stream very soon. Good night for me.